Known to the shadows as the Soul Collector, Levi wields a power fueled by 1,000 fallen warriors. Each kill grants him 25 hours of life, yet his heart races as his life clock ticks down. With only 1.5 months remaining, he sighs, remembering the agony of his previous existence. In that life, he was a terminal cancer patient, a weakling rotting on a bed, desperate for survival. Everything changed when a skeletal god of war appeared, granting his wish but dragging him into hell. Now, trapped in a brutal medieval world, Levi must outrun death as his life clock pulses relentlessly. To survive 6 months, he needs 180 souls, a task too heavy for a mere newbie. His conscience screams, but survival demands blood, forcing him to strike down his first victim in cold blood. Suddenly, a heavy hand slams onto the table, shattering his dark thoughts as reality rushes back in. It is his guildmate, oblivious to the invisible clock, inviting Levi to join the rowdy celebration. All eyes are on him, the mysterious F rank who somehow defeated a legendary swordsmanship master recently. They think it was a fluke, yet that single victory earned him a place in this elite guild. He hides his divine pact, playing the role of a lucky beginner to avoid their suspicious glares. But the vice captain's sharp gaze pierces his facade, forcing Levi to claim he risked everything to win. For a heartbeat, silence falls. Then the tavern erupts in laughter as they drench him in beer. They mock his claims of desperation, thinking every mercenary faces the same thin line between life and death. Amidst the chaos, a calm voice cuts through the noise, ordering the rowdy crowd to give him space. Captain Turn gestures for a private meeting, sensing there is more to this newbie than meets the eye. Levi stands quickly, leaving the jeering crowd behind as he follows the captain into the shadows. The vice captain shouts a drunken farewell, mocking their supposed brotherhood as Levi rolls his eyes. Brotherhood is a myth in this world of steel, and Levi knows he walks this path alone. As soon as the door closes, the vice captain's smile vanishes, replaced by a cold, calculating gaze. He orders the young knights to prepare for work, his eyes filled with a dark, lingering worry. Meanwhile, Levi enters the captain's office, where Turn greets him with an unusually wide, gleaming smile. He praises Levi as the hidden MVP of the last war. Shocked by the rookie's overwhelming hidden talent, Turn pulls him to a seat, insisting they toast to the birth of a new legendary warrior. Levi remains guarded, asking the captain to skip the pleasantries and reveal the true mission at hand. Turn pours the wine, admitting that while the war is over, a darker game is just beginning. He insists on a celebration first, masking the dangerous nature of the task he is about to assign. Levi takes a sip of the expensive liquor, sensing the weight of the coming storm in every drop. The war with Bera has technically ended, but the true peace remains far out of their reach. The enemy leader demands a meeting with the High Command, likely a desperate final move to survive. Rumors suggest he plans to massacre his own men to avoid paying their blood-soaked wages. It is a filthy, noble-like scheme, proving that the aristocrats are the true monsters of this era. Levi is tasked with a secret mission: protect Viscount Bera while the dirty deal is finalized. He questions why an F-rank newbie was chosen, but Turn claims Levi's reputation is the perfect shield. The captain hands over a sealed scroll containing the coordinates for a secret, moonlight rendezvous. A massive reward is promised, but Levi knows that high pay always comes with high lethality. Without a word, he accepts the mission and vanishes into the night, heading toward his next evolution. Turn watches him leave, laughing loudly, while Levi prepares to face the true horrors of the battlefield. These nobles treat lives like currency, while Levi must kill just to see the sun rise tomorrow. 10 years in this world, yet the cold indifference toward human life still feels like a poison. He reaches the forest, sensing a presence lurking in the darkness, a shadow waiting to strike him down. Viscount Bera appears, but he is not alone. A trap has been set for the unsuspecting collector. Surrounded by elite knights, Levi feels the killing intent rise as their silver armor shimmers like death. So, Bera's knights seek revenge? Fine. Levi draws his blade, ready for a bloodbath. A mere warm-up. I'll end you the moment you spark your puny power. Suddenly, blood sprays from his mouth. Levi collapses. What's happening to my body? Impossible. Was the beer poisoned? Enemies close in as his strength rapidly fades. Damn it! If I'm poisoned, my comrades are also in grave danger. He tries to strike back, but twin blades pierce his gut. His body fails. Crimson geysers erupt from his wounds. Levi gasps, unable to process the sudden betrayal. Cold steel slides out, spraying blood. Even now, he only worries for his team. Even the Soul Reaper can't resist our E-neutralizing toxin. It was worth the price. The vice captain cackles. Don't blame us, Levi. We didn't want this either. Did the Viscount hire you? Levi struggles to rise. You poisoned me for gold? If Captain Turn finds out. Levi growls, but the traitors only exchange cold looks. It's tragic, really. But the poison and the order, they all came from Turn. Turn? Levi's heart shatters. We were brothers. Memories of their bond turn to ash. He laughs a hollow, bloody laugh. I was the only fool who believed in loyalty. An executioner swings, but Levi catches the blade with his bare, bleeding hand. System, take 1,000 hours. The system responds, exchanging time for Ram's blessing. 1,000? Suddenly, the vice captain's sword shatters into a million jagged pieces. An aura of dread erupts as Levi rises. Impossible! You shouldn't have any mana left. His timer turns blood red, surging with time. Levi's smile is pure, demonic malice. You asked how I'd beat Bera's knights? You thought it was a joke? Watch me. His wounds ignite and heal. He crushes the broken steel as ancient power awakens. Warning. 15 seconds to live. Levi's eyes glow with the fury of a demon king. Kill him! He's unarmed. They charge. But Levi only laughs at their pathetic struggle. Unarmed? Is that what you think? Reality shifts as he enters the war god's domain. A wasteland of skulls and infinite blades appears. A colossal sword towers before him. Blessing active. Ram's executioner blade. Cost: 4 lives per second. The countdown begins. Levi returns to reality, wielding a massive blade that radiates pure, unadulterated destruction. Since when did you? The vice captain's scream is silenced by a flash of steel. Faster than the wind, Levi carves through them. They can only scream in despair. He stops, his gaze icy and dead. Tell me, what was I to you all? The dying vice captain mocks him. Family? Don't make me laugh, you sentimental trash. With one swift stroke, Levi ends them. The divine blade fades into the mist. Physical overload imminent. His body begins to crumble under the weight of divine power. Blood pours from his face. This cursed buff only keeps me from dying. For now. He drags his broken body forward. Surely, someone stayed loyal. They couldn't all be traitors. Hope drives him back to the hall, but he finds only a hellish inferno. Flames consume the guild. The air reeks of charred flesh and shattered dreams. Dead comrades litter the floor. Levi, a faint, agonizing voice calls from the shadows. Run. Escape while you can. A survivor crawls forward, his life force fading fast. Turn sold us to Bera. A blade silences him. Turn emerges from the smoke. Impressive. You survived the poison and returned alive. I truly underestimated you, Levi. Turn's voice is freezing. Either you're a monster, or my men were just useless. You monster. Levi roars. How could you slaughter your own brothers in arms? Turn raises his blood-stained axe with a cold, heartless smirk. Brothers? Don't be pathetic. I didn't just kill one teammate, the traitor sneered. I'm simply purging the trash in my way. Levi stood frozen, unable to believe his ears. Obstacles? Do you even realize what you're saying? We were brothers. Tan remained chillingly calm as he finally revealed the dark truth. You're the last one left, so I'll be honest. I made a deal with Duke Burr. If I discard this pathetic mercenary band, I'll be granted a title of nobility. So you slaughtered everyone for a title? Levi's voice trembled with cold, murderous fury. Tan laughed mockingly. You're quick, kid. In this world, trust is a fatal weakness. His laughter was vile and cruel. Done talking? Because your time has run out. Levi didn't argue. He lunged forward, his eyes locked onto the traitor like a predator. Their blades clashed with explosive force. Neither warrior gave an inch in this dance of death. Levi's eyes burned crimson with rage. His sword struck Tan's heavy axe like a thunderbolt. Tan skidded back, his grin widening. I wanted you to die peacefully, but I've changed my mind. The traitor channeled his aura into his axe. Don't forget who I am, boy. I am a hero of the Holy War from 50 years ago. You're nothing compared to my experience. Witness the ultimate skill that made me a legend. The wood iron cleave. This strike shreds everything within 20 meters. As Tan prepared his final move, Levi flashed past. A single silver line divided the traitor's body in two. Mana. How? Ton coughed blood and collapsed, defeated by a single perfect strike. Levi stood alone as the guild house was consumed by flames. His comrades were all gone. 2 years of fighting side by side vanished in a night. His grip tightened on his hilt. In his past life, he died slowly in a hospital. Here, he was the sole survivor. Nothing lasts forever, he whispered. He began burying the swords of his fallen friends. A makeshift graveyard for the brothers he lost. But fate had a cruel twist waiting. Average humans live 80 years if they are lucky. But Levi's life was on a timer. 3 minutes without air. 3 days without water. That is the human limit. 3 weeks without food. However, Levi knew a much darker truth about his own existence. To keep breathing, he had to kill. His very life depended on the act of slaughter. I need an eternal war. Suddenly, a man adjusted his glasses and interrupted his thoughts. To survive, you need gold, Levi. You owe a debt of 8,600 gold. Levi slammed the table in shock. I've never borrowed a single coin in my life. The guild house you rented burned down last night. The liability falls on you. Why should I pay for that traitor's mess? The manager smirked and held up a contract. You signed a joint liability clause. That means you're responsible for every single coin of damage. Don't lie to me! I never signed anything like that. Levi glared with intense suspicion. Look for yourself. Is that not your signature? Levi's mind flashed back to his first day. Ton had handed him a paper, calling it a simple registration form. He had been played. You should have read the fine print, Levi. The manager's voice was cold and mocking. This is a scam. I don't have a cent and I'm not paying. Suddenly, 2 blades were at his throat. Elite warriors surrounded him from the shadows. If you refuse, your mercenary license is revoked. You'll be a common criminal. Your name will go on the global bounty list. Every hunter will be after your head. Black market mages pay a fortune for the organs of a high-tier knight like you. Decide now, Levi Deli. I'll give you exactly 1 minute to choose your fate. Surrounded by steel, Levi's eyes remained cold. 1 minute? That's more than enough time. If I decide to fight, I'll take at least half of your lives with me. Settle down, Levi. I am merely preparing you for the absolute worst-case scenario. Think about it. A mercenary's life means selling your blade to the highest bidder. A lucrative job just arrived from Viscount Barra. Neutralize the illegal squads in his woods. Previous scouts never returned from that dark forest. It is a graveyard for the unprepared. Our hero scowls at the commission. Yesterday's enemy has suddenly become today's biggest client. Fighting an entire army? The pay is massive, but the expedition losses were staggering. How does that old man still have funds? If you are scared, hand it back. Levi grips the paper. Who said I was quitting? I just need time to think. Listen, Levi. You must report back every 3 days or you will be declared dead. Once that happens, your head goes straight onto the bounty list. Do not be late. The man rubs his temples. Problem solved. Yet I feel like I missed something important. Oh, right. The dark forest is a monster nest. Meanwhile, Levi is already cursing him. That bald snake should have warned me. Even in virtual worlds, monsters are pure nightmares. This is my first time seeing them. If they are living beings, can they extend my life? He activates the system to check. Killing 1 beast grants 60 additional hours of survival. This is better than hunting humans. Yet, the memory of his first kill remains vivid. The shock of ear. I am no longer Manhwa, but Levi, a digital world survivor. Survival here demands constant slaughter. The very thought sends a cold shiver down my spine. It is horrifying, but I must endure. One day, I might view humans as mere resources. The prospect of surviving brings a twisted relief that barely lasts 2 weeks. For one with a cursed fate, guilt is a luxury. Now, I face true demons. Blood splatters everywhere as Levi stares coldly at the carnage. The memories are returning. This isn't the life I wanted, but I will do anything to stay alive. Monsters are everywhere here, providing infinite time. They are the perfect resource for evolution. Maybe I can survive without killing humans anymore. He crushes a monster's skull underfoot. Should I become a professional hunter? A mysterious voice suddenly mocks him from above. A monster hunter? Don't be ridiculous. A stranger stands on the cliff, laughing at him. You've only reached the forest's edge. Do you think anyone can handle this path? Levi glares upward. I won't know until I try. State your name, old man. The man grins. I am a veteran hunter. 50 years ago, these beasts invaded our world. They appeared across every continent. Different species, but all share a thirst for human blood. High-rank monsters can crush elite knights. Some possess powers that defy all logic. We are called monster hunters. But there are absolute rules you must follow, kid. He leaps down. Rule number 1. Never hunt in another hunter's established territory. I am feeling generous today, so I will ignore your intrusion into my lands. Others would have killed you already. He notices Levi still stepping on the monster's corpse. I only care about extermination, not loot, Levi replies. Is there an illegal army here? The hunter ponders. Rebels? They are just like us. Outcasts living in the wild. That Viscount just loves fancy titles. I see. Then I take back what I said. The hunter looks confused. What are you talking about? Speak clearly, boy. Without a word, Levi draws his blade. He charges with eyes glowing a murderous red. I feel nothing for you, he whispers. I do this purely to survive. But the veteran blocks the strike with his bare hand, his eyes filled with intrigue. A mercenary, huh? You aren't the first to try and fail miserably here. Show me more. Is that all the power you have? Strike me harder, boy. Levi's eyes locked onto his foe, but panic surged within. How could this monster block his strike? The hunter grinned, amused by Levi's defiance. Heh, I like that look in your eyes, kid. Reminds me of the freaks from the Holy War. Levi roared, igniting his dormant F-rank demonic energy. A desperate, high-speed lunge. Levi bet everything on this single, reckless strike against the Titan. Crack! The blade shattered into 1,000 pieces. Confusion hit him harder than the steel fragments. High-density aura snapped the sword like a twig. Suddenly, the hunter's fist blurred toward Levi's gut. The impact was seismic. Levi rocketed through the forest, snapping massive trees before slamming into stone. Blood sprayed as he gasped for air. But the hunter was already closing in for the kill. Levi drew a second blade, but a devastating blow caved in his chest, shattering the ground beneath. Consciousness faded as his head slumped, yet his hand still instinctively pointed a dagger at his foe. The hunter chuckled. Unbelievable. Even half dead, your fighting spirit won't break. I like your style, kid. Surveying the destruction, the hunter sighed. He had clearly gone too far against this F-rank newbie. If I leave him here, the monsters will feast. He scratched his head, contemplating the boy's fate. Then, he noticed it blood on his own hand. A smirk grew. You actually managed to cut me? Inside a dark dream, Levi wandered through a hellscape of memories. A world built on endless slaughter. I despise this cycle, he whispered. A world where only the killers get to breathe another day. The expedition was a graveyard. No life remained. Only the stench of rotting flesh and broken dreams. He wanted to save the innocent, yet his hands were stained crimson. A lie he told himself daily. A dying man spat blood, mocking him. Don't act holy, Levi. You're just another beast like us. Even in this state, you're a survivor, a monster who thrives on death. Stop fooling yourself, kid. Look at your reflection. Do those look like the eyes of a pacifist? Suddenly, Levi's eyes snapped open. He's awake, voices echoed. Levi bolted upright, heart hammering against his ribs. Where am I? Quiet, brat. Your lungs are screaming, the hunter warned. Move too much and you'll split wide open. The agony returned in waves. He remembered it now, the overwhelming power that had crushed his spirit. The boss hit you pretty hard, huh? Levi looked up at the man. Boss? Then you must be. I'm Jeff, the leader of the monster hunters here. Welcome to our town, little mercenary. You've been out for 3 days straight. 3 days? Levi's blood ran cold at the realization. The bald man's warning echoed. Report every 3 days, or be branded a traitor and hunted down. Damn it, if he didn't move fast, he'd be on the kingdom's bounty list by morning. Levi took a breath, introducing himself. I am Levi Delos. I was a mercenary for the army. The hunters roared with laughter. A mercenary? You tried to solo high-rank zones with those stats? You've got a death wish, kid. Or maybe just more balls than brains. Levi's face darkened. Laugh while you can. He couldn't retaliate yet. Jeff had already proven the massive power gap. If I farm the weaklings, I can evolve. The system would grant him the strength of a god. But his quest timer was ticking. How could he possibly survive while being branded a deserting traitor? The mercenary guild would never let this go. To them, he was just trash to be discarded. Jeff interrupted his dark spiral. Life's a mess, isn't it? You mentioned wanting to become a hunter. So, how about it? Want to join our crew and stop playing solo in the dirt? Levi scoffed. You nearly killed me 3 days ago, and now you're offering me a job? Jeff's eyes gleamed with interest. In this world, kid, nobody gives out free lunches. Everything has a price. To stay here, you pay with blood. Hunt monsters, bring back the loot, and you keep your head. Monster meat, cores, and magical organs, the market for these is booming. It's a gold mine, brat. Levi paused, his gears turning. If he hunted monsters, he wouldn't just get gold or materials. Monster souls would fuel his infinite evolution and extend his life. The path to domination had begun. 2 birds with 1 stone, Levi smirked, his eyes burning with new ambition. I'm in. This will suffice. For your trial, head west into the forest to hunt a stone ape monster. A crude, messy sketch was handed over as a guide. Even a combat failure should manage this much. The main character stared at the drawing in silence. Guilford added, Their hides are valuable, so be precise. Do not ruin the leather. Levi nodded with a confident smirk. Just a bit of morning exercise, then. I will bring one back immediately. But upon arrival, Levi could not believe his own eyes. Nobody warned him they were 4 meters tall and hunted in packs. Massive beasts with crimson eyes watched. They bared razor-sharp fangs at the human intruder. Levi cursed the sketch. Who drew this harmless-looking monkey? A sudden explosion rocked the earth, sending Levi flying. Is this what he considers a simple task? To make matters worse, these bastards possessed high-speed regeneration. Their wounds were closing before his very eyes. They merged into one giant, roaring titan. Are you an ape or a gorilla? Just pick one. Damn it! The monster lunged with a massive fist, but Levi stood firm. His eyes flickered with a sudden, lightning-like glow. If I want to capture one using my unique ability, I must first eliminate the competition. With a swift flash of his blade, the first beast fell. But 3 more were already lunging from behind. Levi remained calm, systematically dismantling the pack. This was far less terrifying than he had initially feared. Earning gold and surviving in this world is piece of cake. Levi looked confident, but reality hit hard. This is why you are broke, you idiot. Think, Guilford shouted, smacking the back of Levi's head. I caught them exactly as instructed, Levi argued. Guilford groaned. How can I sell these ruined, scarred hides? Damaged leather is worthless. You must knock them unconscious by striking the neck, not shredding the body. Wait for the body to heal, then deliver 1 clean strike to the head. Levi finally understood. Hunting was not just about killing. It required the precision and mindset of a true predator. David will train you starting tomorrow. Fail, and you are kicked out. 2 weeks passed in a flash. Guilford was stunned by the rookie's growth. Impressive. You managed to capture 2 of them already. Slow but steady progress, Levi thought. Suddenly, Fennin appeared with a mischievous grin on her face. You are quite the butcher, aren't you? Guilford teased. Levi was settling in, yet one thing remained unbearable. There was simply no way to adapt to the bald chef's cooking. The old man handed him a bowl. Here, Levi, a special stew made from your fresh kill. Prepare to be amazed. Levi took the bowl. He gulped it down and was immediately struck by severe food poisoning. Fennin mistook his suffering for excitement. You really love it, don't you? Fine, this stew is on the menu for dinner every night. The others shared his silent agony. As daily life consumed him, Levi stopped checking his own lifespan. Nearby, Guilford spoke with his subordinate. What is your assessment? The man replied with a slight nod. He seems stable now. He stopped dwelling on his past. Remember his first day? He refused everything. He treated Fennin's food like literal poison. He clearly did not trust any of us back then. Guilford recalled Levi's suspicious glare. Did you think it was poisoned? Who hurt you to be this wary? I had to eat it first to prove it was safe. Even now, he sleeps in a corner alone. He sleeps with his sword in hand. He has deep trust issues, but he is certainly no spy. Something is wrong, Captain. The man's voice turned serious. We have lost contact with the other forest squads. Guilford's smile vanished. I need someone to investigate. Levi, no hunting today. You are going to see Z. Is there another hunter outpost besides this one? Levi asked. Guilford sighed at the rookie's ignorance. Of course, we cannot patrol this entire forest alone. Head straight west to find the other camp. Check on their status. Levi began his journey, venturing deeper into the heart of the ancient forest. This was his first peaceful day since arriving in this world. No nightmares and no constant worries. He wished this tranquility could last, but this world was never kind to the weak for long. He soon discovered a mangled corpse. The armor was a hunter's, but the wounds were not from monsters. A precise stab. This was the work of a master swordsman. Suddenly, Levi felt a presence behind him. He spun around to find a young girl, trembling with terror before she collapsed in absolute fear. Levi approached. The girl trembled, mistaking him for a ruthless Zone Squad killer. She screamed in terror. Stop. Why do you mercenaries keep tormenting us? 3 thugs suddenly emerged. There she is. They laughed at the easy prey. They recognized Levi, the soul collector. You're on the high-value bounty list, a monster who desecrates the fallen. His dark reputation preceded him everywhere. They mocked his past. A traitor who slaughtered his team for gold. Levi's eyes remained cold. Are you finished? Their arrogance was a death sentence. They drew blades. I'll write your will before I send you to hell. They charged greedily. Today was a lucky day for a triple bounty kill. Are you sure? Levi asked. His killing intent froze their very souls. 1 strike, 1 death. The others followed before they could even scream. A survivor grabbed the girl. Don't move, or I'll slit her throat now. Levi didn't hesitate. A heavy blade crashed into the coward's face suddenly. That's not how you threaten people. Levi's calm voice was absolutely terrifying. The survivors fled. The girl clung to him. You aren't with them? She begged for help. Bera's army was purging her town without mercy. They found only ruins. Smoke rose from the charred remains of her life. She wept. Everyone was gone. Levi felt a familiar dark energy lingering. These weren't normal wounds. This was the work of an awakened monster. He remembered Captain Tem, the man who wielded an axe of pure terror. A hero of the Holy War 50 years ago. A master of slaughter. His ultimate skill. A technique that could sever everything within 20 meters. He moved like a natural disaster. The ground itself split under his power. Now, the same nightmare repeated. Screams echoed through the blood-soaked manor. A survivor crawled through the mud. A predator watched him like a bug. The killer grinned. To him, human life was just a game of torture. The J-Force will stop you, the man cried out with his final breath. The blade fell. He didn't care about justice. Only the Count's orders mattered. Commander Mako received the report. The scouts were closing in on the west. The necromancer? Mako laughed. The hunt for Levi was finally truly starting. His blood boiled with killing intent. He wanted to crush the soul collector. Levi reported to Guilford. Count Bell was mobilizing his most dangerous monsters. Another assassination attempt? Guilford sighed. The scale of war was changing fast. This was an all-out invasion. The Count had hired every killer available. They would burn everything down. J-Force prepared for the coming storm tonight. Attacks were frequent now. But Guilford remained calm despite the rising pressure. I'll capture them alive, he declared. His confidence was a beacon of hope. Levi was skeptical. Why show mercy to these monsters? He knew better. Guilford spoke of humanity. But Levi knew a powerful knight was approaching them. He's dangerous, Levi warned. This wasn't an enemy they could simply capture. Roles were assigned. Bio was chosen for the most dangerous role. Bait. Me? She whispered. The golden-haired rookie trembled at the thought of battle. Guilford smiled. You've done well. The trap was set for the night. Darkness fell. Levi and Bayo sat by the fire, waiting for death. Is this really my role? Bayo shook. Mako's shadow loomed nearby. Baiting them with fire is too amateur. A true predator approaches the enemy base with silent, deadly precision. A scout kicks him, demanding answers. But in a flash, Levi severs the man's leg with cold, calculated cruelty. As the scout screams in agony, Levi tells Bio to enter the base. The real performance begins now. Seeing only one boy, the enemy mob rushes forward. It is just one kid. Tear him to pieces. Levi stands calm amidst the chaos. Fools. You still do not understand? You have already stepped into my trap. Suddenly, the ground vanishes. The hunters plunge into a bottomless abyss as the earth swallows them whole. They realize the pit was just the start. A terrifying, mechanical sound echoes from the shadows behind them. Massive logs swing down like hammers of judgment. Survivors scramble, desperately searching for a path without traps. They think they found safety, but fall into another snare. Jeff finally emerges to face the weakened prey. Are warriors today really this pathetic? Jeff sighs. I expected a challenge, not lambs walking into a slaughterhouse. Every soldier is trapped except for one Marco. He is the elite threat that Levi warned them about. Marco's face contorts with pure rage. You useless idiots! Cut the ropes and get out of there right now! Levi's foot slams the line, sending a warning vibration. Do not cut it unless you want a one-way trip down. Jeff shouts Levi's name, revealing his position. Marco freezes, realizing a monster has been lurking right behind him. Levi hurls his blade with lethal intent, but Marco parries. This man's reflexes are on a whole different level. Their weapons clash, igniting sparks like lightning. His axe style is like Tehran's, but evolved and far faster. You are not Tehran, are you? Levi asks, his eyes glowing with the awakening of his dark power. How dare you compare me to that weakling? Marco roars. Their murderous glares collide in a shower of sparks. Just as their killing intent peaks, monsters swarm from the darkness. The duel is forced into a sudden halt. Magic beasts? Here? The retreat path is blocked. The humans are now caught between two different types of predators. They are using the environment to hunt. Is this the brutal reality of how true master hunters survive? Jeff signals a tactical stop. The beasts are here. Let us carve them up before we finish our business. Two monsters launch a devastating raid on the village. Jeff barks orders, setting a wall of iron defense. Levi and Marco continue their dance of death, oblivious to the Titan beast raising a fist to crush them. Levi, watch out! Jeff screams. This is no time for a duel. The real nightmare is right behind you. The beast never stands a chance. Their synchronized weapons strike with enough force to leave the monster paralyzed. Jeff delivers a bone-shattering punch, deforming the beast's skull. His fist remains buried deep in its monstrous face. Jeff lands gracefully, but his eyes narrow in concern. Even the stone monkeys have joined the fray? Something is wrong. These creatures never leave the deep forest. The wall has collapsed. A voice screams in pure primal terror. A werewolf lunges from the breach, its jaws snapping shut on a hunter's head. The massacre has begun. High-rank werewolves? Why are they here? Panic spreads as the hunters realize they are completely outmatched. Fall back. We cannot win this fight. Jeff bellows, his heart sinking as the village turns into a graveyard. Amidst the gore, a battered beast twitches. Marco senses a shift in the air, the balance of power is breaking. A fallen monster's eyes snap open with unnatural hunger. It lunges at Marco's throat with blinding, demonic speed. Before the claws can strike, Levi's blade flashes. The monster's head is severed in one perfect, silent motion. Levi lands with the trophy head. We cooperate, or we die. Stone monkeys regenerate unless you decapitate them. Do not waste your energy on anything else. Strike the neck. Marco hides his shock behind a mask of fury. I was already planning to do that, brat, Marco snaps. Levi just smirks. Is that so? Then prove it. A fresh wave of monsters surges forward. Do not die yet, Marco. Our business is not over, Levi whispers. Marco watches the young monarch charge ahead. Me? Die? I am just getting started with this pathetic warm-up. Crimson energy erupts from his axe like a volcano. If anyone is dying today, it is definitely going to be you. His axe becomes a whirlwind of fire, harvesting stone monkey heads like wheat. The air explodes with raw power. A rain of severed heads falls around Marco. He stands untouched, his aura radiating a terrifying, primal intensity. You were right. No head, no life. Whether it is these monkeys or you, the result is the same. A sword tip grazes Marco, knocking his helmet into the dust. Levi looks back with eyes of a king. Let this be your first and final warning. If you even think about stabbing me in the back, you are dead. The hood falls, revealing Marco's twisted smirk. Is the infamous Soul Reaper actually threatening me? Levi stares him down. Levi feels a flicker of relief. At least he isn't a total fool. Let me ask you something, Marco mutters, scratching his head. Did my father never mention me? That's right, I'm Marco, the son of Torn. The man you slaughtered days ago. Levi exhales a cold breath. That old monster actually had a son? So, are you here for a blood vendetta? Revenge? Don't be ridiculous. Marco laughs mockingly. I should thank you for taking out that piece of trash for me. He never cared for me, not even as much as the mercenaries he called family. Suddenly, a massive tremor shakes the earth. What was that? A deafening blast echoes as a pillar of light erupts from the ground, sending hunters flying like dolls. A colossal, serpent-like beast emerges from the abyss, dragging hunters into the sky. What kind of nightmare have we awakened? Help me! A hunter screams in pure despair. Gifford vanishes and reappears instantly, his fist shattering the monster's grip. The hunter gasps. Why? Why would you save me? We are enemies. Gifford doesn't waste a second on explanations. If you have breath left to talk, go help my comrades. We're trapped. This is no time for petty grudges. Levi watches in disbelief. Gifford, have you lost your mind? They are our enemies. There is no profit in saving them. Gifford turns with a gaze of steel. Never judge a person's life by their utility. Saving someone requires no reason. Those words leave Levi speechless. He can only sigh at such idealistic nonsense. That's just not how this world works. Is this what they call normal? Levi watches Gifford charge back into the chaos. You want me to play the hero? In my past life, this was morality. Here, it's the path of a true knight. But for someone like me, Levi looks down, memories of blood and betrayal resurfacing. In all my lives, I have never met anyone like him. Gifford, you really are the first true knight I've ever seen. Damn it. A mocking voice sneers from behind him. Your leader is a fool who doesn't know how to use people. Why would the strong die for the weak? Look at them. They can't even handle two low-rank beasts. They are nothing but dead weight in this fight. Marco channels dark mana into his axe. In a crisis, the strong must seize control. That is the only solution. Levi's eyes narrow. Stop. If you unleash that skill here, my subordinates will be caught in the crossfire. I know, Marco laughs. I already told you this is the most efficient way to save the majority. Clang! Levi's blade clashes against Marco's axe. Their killing intent creates a shockwave that ripples through the air. You bastard. Levi's rage boils over. Do you really care nothing for the lives of your own comrades? What are you talking about? Marco scoffs. They aren't comrades, they're tools. This is the best way they can serve me. Don't worry. Their pathetic lives are finally worth something. He preaches his twisted logic without a hint of remorse. Why the sudden empathy? You've slaughtered people like cattle before. You're just a murderer like me, Levi. Levi's gaze turns ice cold. You're right. I'm no hero. I won't save people for the sake of being good, but as you said, I am an expert at killing. Shink. In one flash, Levi severs Marco's entire arm. Thanks to your filth, I know exactly what I must do. Levi's eyes glow with a terrifying, demonic red hue. My job is to execute trash like you. Marco screams in agony as he stares at his missing limb. Levi checks the system. 940 hours. Compared to Torn, this guy is just bottom-tier garbage. But his life should still be worth 60 hours on the clock. Levi raises his sword. It's a fair trade. Without hesitation, the main character plunges his blade deep into Marco's chest. Blood drips from the cold steel. Still clinging to life? One more should do it. But then, a bone-chilling roar echoes through the entire valley. The earth shatters as a gargantuan shadow rises. Everyone freezes, their hearts stopping at the sight of the behemoth. Gru! The monster towers 10 times over any man, its murderous gaze locked onto the camp as it advances. What is that thing? A void behemoth? Even Gifford is paralyzed by the creature's overwhelming pressure. It's the master of the craggy peaks, the Great Red Bear. Why has a mountain lord descended to this place? Suddenly, a massive fist slams into Levi. He is sent flying through the air before he can even blink. Impossible, Levi gasps, watching the horror unfold. I cut his arm. I pierced his heart. How is he standing? That limb. It looks like a stone ape's. Marco crunches a glass vial between his teeth, grinning like a demon. Marco spits out the shards after draining the dark elixir. How dare a lowly mercenary like you challenge me? He wasn't trash. His eyes burned with monstrous hunger as the vial hit the cold ground. A brutal flashback, a vertical slash sprayed blood across his young face as he collapsed in agony. Thorn spat. You're just garbage. On a real battlefield, your life would be over already. Little Marco screamed, cursing the old man for nearly splitting his own son's head open. But Thorn looked down at him like a pathetic bug, claiming his hand simply slipped. "Stop whining and stand up," he barked. "Or just throw your worthless life away right now." Even as an adult, the whispers followed Marco, the scum mercenary's son playing at being a knight. High society laughed at the joke. Surely the son of a traitor possessed zero talent. They whispered that Viscount Bera only kept him because his father had sold out his comrades. Like father, like son, trash through and through. Now, Marco stood pinned before the Viscount himself. "You dare lay hands on a high-ranking knight?" the guards roared, demanding the mercenary's son answer. Marco remained eerily calm, even as cold steel was pressed tightly against his throat. "You were born to be trash," they mocked. Yet Marco didn't flinch, staring Bera down instead. "Where are your noble knights now?" Marco challenged. "Didn't they all just perish on the battlefield?" He questioned Bera's right to judge him while the Viscount's precious reputation was crumbling to dust. Bera's face was a mask of stone. "You speak as if things would be different under you." "Obviously," Marco countered. "I'm worth more because I'm stronger. Isn't this scene proof enough?" Bera realized the truth. Marco had staged this entire chaos just to prove his lethal value. "Arrogant, yet a true warrior's spirit," Bera noted. "From now on, you are the commander here." The declaration left the guards speechless. The trash had just become their supreme leader. Later, in the shadows of the private chambers, the Viscount revealed the dark truth to Marco. "This position was originally meant for your father," Bera admitted, his voice low and heavy. Marco went silent. "Is that the only reason I'm here?" he asked, sensing more to the story. "Thorn is dead," Bera dropped the bombshell. Marco's eyes widened. Had the old man finally been murdered? Every mercenary was slaughtered, except for one, the mysterious soul collector known as Levi. A twisted, satisfied smile crept onto Marco's face. He was glad the trash was finally gone. Bera watched him, disturbed. "You don't seem saddened at all by your own father's gruesome death." "He taught me that the weak die like weeds," Marco replied coldly. "He died because he was garbage. I don't waste time mourning a pile of rubbish." Marco's heart had truly turned to stone. Bera shifted focus. "Look at that symbol. It's the mark of a monster from the dark forest." The items from hunting such a beast were worth a fortune, and Bera needed the gold. War had drained his coffers. Now, he needed to clear out the pests blocking his profit. "I just need to kill them all, right?" Marco asked. For him, murder was a simple task. "You're easy to work with," Bera chuckled, handing him a vial of mysterious, glowing liquid. It was a gift for strong enemies, a cruel tool to ensure Marco's absolute domination. Present day, the vial shattered. Marco lunged at Levi, his body overflowing with demonic, forbidden energy. He threw a devastating punch with a mutated, monstrous arm, aiming straight for the main character's heart. Levi blocked, but the shockwave shattered the earth, sending debris flying as Marco laughed like a maniac. "Where's your courage, soul collector?" Marco taunted. "Are you only capable of hiding behind your blade? Try to cut me if you can!" he roared. Steel clashed against demonic flesh in a frantic dance. Levi was forced back, losing his momentum as the F-rank monster began his terrifying evolution. Marco leaped high, his fist crackling with red lightning that threatened to tear the sky apart. "Die!" he screamed, striking down with a force that made the very ground scream in protest. But the killing blow never landed. A new hand intervened, catching the lightning-charged fist with ease. "Sorry to butt in," the stranger said calmly, "but I'm in a bit of a hurry." "Hey, old man. Thanks for the help, but I can handle this myself," the main character, Levi, muttered. But before he could react, Guilford's fist slammed into his stomach, plunging the world into darkness. "Forgive me, kid." This beast was beyond any F-rank's league. The other hunters scattered, fleeing like prey before a predator. As Bera's forces moved, Fennon retreated through the dense woods, carrying the unconscious Levi on his back. "Leader, when the boy wakes up, he's going to go berserk. He won't forgive us for this." Guilford stood with his team. "This isn't a game for outsiders. We're the ones who must end this. If that calamity-class beast escapes this forest, it'll be a bloodbath. We are the only line of defense." At the mountain's base, the villagers trembled as the very earth began to shake with demonic intent. Guilford's roar echoed through the trees. "Even if we die, we buy time. Not one person left behind." 50 years ago, the Chaos Beast Lord led a demonic tide to drown the world in shadow. The entire continent united in a desperate struggle that would be carved into history as the Holy War. Every race fought side by side, spilling blood to stop the overwhelming invasion from the dark dimensions. Victory was theirs, but the cost was extinction for almost every race except for the humans. In the aftermath, mutated magic beasts began to crawl from the shadows, infesting the land like a curse. Emperor Choisen commanded the nobles to purge the monsters, sending countless knights to their doom. While some went willingly, most were forced into the jaws of death, mere pawns in a political game. Enough. Guilford's voice cut through the court. He stood tall before the emperor, eyes burning with rage. You call this responsibility? You're turning these young knights into sacrifices. Is this your glorious empire? The emperor's aide shrieked in fury. How dare a mere hunter question his majesty's divine will? Will you take the mission then, Guilford? The emperor remained silent, his cold gaze speaking volumes. Since that betrayal, Guilford lived as a lone monster hunter, harboring no regrets for his exile. He grinned, baring his teeth. If I fall today, I'm dragging one of these devils to hell with me. The monster horde clashed with the hunters. Steel met claw in a brutal symphony of slaughter. Guilford unleashed his true power, yet he couldn't shake the chilling dread pooling in his gut. They're endless, he hissed. Standing amidst the carnage was the mountain-sized red bear, watching him. A filthy, suffocating aura radiated from the beast. It was the stench of a soul-devouring demon king. The dire wolves below snarled, their eyes glowing with the same corrupted energy as their master. Though smaller, they carried that same terrifying aura. This wasn't a hunt, it was an execution. Guilford charged alone, his fists obliterating everything in his path like a storm of pure destruction. He dove into the heart of the swarm, his punches shattering stone monkeys into dust and gravel. Heads flew as he carved a path of gore. The source of this rot. I see it now. In a blur of speed, he appeared before the red bear, looking like an ant before a god. Guilford laughed, a wild, dangerous sound. I don't care what kind of dark power you're hiding. He threw a punch packed with every ounce of his life force, striking like a bolt of lightning. Flesh exploded and ribs shattered, revealing a massive, pulsing crimson stone deep inside the beast's chest. So that mana stone is your heart? Let's see if you can survive this. He prepared to strike, but the gem suddenly blazed with a blinding light. A massive shockwave tore through the forest. Miles away, Feenan felt the blast. Leader, please don't tell me you did something reckless. Levi's eyes snapped open. His head felt like it had been split by an axe. Where am I? He realized he was being carried and grabbed Fenan's collar. That old man. Where did he go? Flo jumped back in surprise. Levi, you're awake? I expected you to be out for 4 days. Fenan's face was etched with worry. Listen, Levi. We don't have time for your questions right now. That monster is a red bear, and it's fueled by a disaster-tier mana stone. It's a walking catastrophe. Guilford's orders were clear. We have to get you out of this forest before the aftermath hits. Levi's gaze sharpened, a dark power flickering in his eyes. You expect me to run? Not a chance. I have to fight. We are allies. Listen, Fenan. If I can just slay a few more beasts, I can. Fenan grabbed his shoulder, trembling as he begged the main character to flee. Please, Levi, save yourself. Warn the Empire. Our association was founded only because Fenan gasped, unable to finish his desperate warning. Suddenly, a blade of shadow severed Fenan's limb. Blood sprayed as Levi watched his mentor collapse in absolute shock. Fenan! He screamed. Behind the dying man, a familiar, monstrous hand emerged, splattering crimson across Levi's horrified face. It was Marco. He laughed hysterically at their despair. Look at that pathetic face. How truly humiliating, you trash. If not for this old fool, I would have gutted you already. This is the fate of the weak, boy. Marco's face twisted into a demonic grin, his eyes glowing. The weak exist solely to serve the strong. Fenan coughed up a thick spray of blood. Run, Levi. Save your own life, he whispered with his last breath. Levi went silent. His eyes turned cold as ice, his lips pressed thin. He gently laid Fenan's body down. You said the weak only serve the strong, right? You're absolutely right. Levi drew his jagged, black dagger. With a swift strike, he plunged the blade into Fenan's heart. Marco roared with laughter at the cold-blooded betrayal. Ha ha, you killed your own ally. Don't worry about his peace. Worry about your own miserable death, kid. I'll make two things clear. Levi spoke with a terrifying calmness that instantly silenced Marco's mocking laughter. First, I didn't do this just for Fenin. Suddenly, a massive, legendary sword manifested and impaled Marco. Second, I don't need to worry about myself. We aren't even in the same league anymore, you monster. Levi's eyes burned with demonic fury. What? Marco shrieked in terror as the air pressure around them shattered. With one vertical flash, Levi cleaved Marco in two. Your life will finally be worth something as my experience. The shockwave leveled the entire forest behind them. Levi stood over the bisected traitor. The ground itself split apart. A crushed skull means no regeneration. He looked at his massive blade. Your healing factor was just trashed here. Killing you was like swatting a fly. Can a human truly wield this demonic power? It doesn't even matter. Now, it's time to deal with that true monster. Levi turned his gaze toward the towering white pillar nearby. Fenin, I'll have to delay our reunion. The main character charged forward, dragging his colossal sword behind him. I sacrificed his life to awaken this skill. I can't stop now. He vanished in a blur of speed. On the other side, JFD skidded across the dirt. Ugh. If I were a second slower, I'd be dead. The red bear monster had fully regenerated, standing like an invincible fortress. Is it even possible to kill it? The beast let out a world-shaking roar. GFD steeled his resolve. Don't falter. Everyone, charge together, now. The hunters rushed the great demon beast. One veteran hunter slammed his reinforced fist into the creature's side. What the? His hand sank into its skin as if it were liquid. Suddenly, a head sprouted from its flesh. The monster's new mouth devoured the hunter instantly. Tentacles and gore-stained spikes erupted from the beast's hide. Fall back, it's mutating, JFD screamed. His eyes widened as the red bear transformed into an unrecognizable nightmare. It was no longer a bear, it was a shapeless mass of evolving horror, defying all known biology. Hundreds of smaller, parasitic creatures surged from its body, swarming the hunters with hungering, gnashing maws. The hunters were instantly overwhelmed, their screams echoing through the woods as the swarm tore through their ranks. JFD gritted his teeth, realizing the truth. This energy. I saw this once during the Great Holy War. This abnormal aura. If we don't destroy the core immediately, not a single soul will leave this forest alive. He lunged forward, weaving through the writhing tentacles that hungrily sought to ensnare his soul. A creature bit deep into JFD's forehead, blood blinding him. Instantly, a dozen more lunged for the kill. Get lost. JFD unleashed his ultimate energy. With a devastating blow, he cleared the swarm and took flight. He aimed a desperate, full-power strike at the red bear's chest, targeting the glowing energy stone within. I have to end this in one shot. Every second wasted costs more lives. He poured everything into his fist. The impact was perfect, striking the core dead center. The massive beast arched back, letting out a deafening howl. No, it's not breaking. JFD stared in horror as his maximum output failed to even crack the gem. I used every drop of energy, and it didn't even scratch it? The monster's flesh began to knit back together. Damn it, it's regenerating again. He tried to hold the gore back with his bare hands. No. No! The meat wall closed in, sealing the core's final layer of defense. JF struggled. Desperate, he slammed the stone. He had to end this now, tearing the flesh apart. Drenched in dark blood, he hammered the core. Die. Just die already. His vision blurred. Everything went dark, but he fought for one last crack. Then, his body suddenly froze. Blood dripped from the energy stone. Is this it? I'm not afraid to die, but failure. If I fall, everyone dies. As despair took hold, a familiar voice cut through the dark. What's with all the noise? Levi suddenly appeared, the legendary Kai blade in hand. JF gasped in shock. Levi? Why are you here? Hold on. I'll finish this now. Levi ignored him, focusing his aura into the blade. Ram, weapon swap. Now. The sword transformed into Ram's twin blades. JF stared. Is this? The war god's power. With one explosive swing, Levi unleashed a strike that cleaved the energy core in half. The beast was shredded. A massive shockwave leveled half the forest in a sea of fire. The explosion was absolute. Pieces of the great beast rained down as it completely disintegrated. Is it over? Are we saved? The people below watched the twin silhouettes in pure awe. Through the embers, Levy spoke. If I hadn't shown up, you'd be a goner, JF. Why risk your life? You could have just let the Count handle this monster alone. JF scratched his bloody head. You ask why? A monster hunter's duty is to hunt. I couldn't let such a massive prize escape. The protagonist just gave a knowing smirk. And you? JF asked. Levy laughed. Why wouldn't I come? It's exactly as you said. A monster this big is worth a fortune. A hunter can't just walk away, right? JF burst out laughing. A hunter? With your level of overkill? You've got to be joking. You blew it to smithereens. Fine. Then teach me how to avoid making such a mess. They watched the sun set together. JF smiled. Fine. Our training starts at dawn tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. But suddenly, Levy's vision spun, and he collapsed instantly. Levy! Hey! The hero tried to answer, his voice thin as if he were dying. Damn. Every time the support buff ends, I feel like I'm actually going to meet God. System. Ram's blessing has expired. Elsewhere a man sighed, burying his face in frustration. The seal was supposed to be intact. Why the hell did I travel all this way? Calm down, the woman said. That seal is like a mountain. It doesn't break easily. Maybe this incident is connected, the young man grumbled, clearly annoyed by the whole trip. Can't I just complain? No, she replied coldly. He looked away, hiding his growing anxiety. If that seal shatters, the mana will explode. Everything around it will be completely erased. Nothing will grow. It'll become a putrid land of death. Just thinking about it is sickening. He turned pale, nearly gagging. But the woman looked toward the horizon. Wait. Look. I don't think you'll need to puke. They stopped at the edge of a massive cliff. Is this a joke? Everything looks normal. Did I actually read the map wrong? He pulled off his hood, scanning the terrain. This is definitely North Jordan. The dark forest. So why is it so quiet? His face darkened with a mysterious, sharp grin. Interesting. Meanwhile, our hero sat atop a fresh carcass. A whole day in this forest for one? The forest has changed. The monster count has plummeted. Likely because of that giant beast. Old man JF thinks so too. But what's wrong with this thing? It's acting up again. Levy glared at the system notification. At least tell me why. JF approached from behind. What kind of disciple makes his master wait? I had to come out and find you. You're the one who wanted to learn. Levy just grinned. You seem happy today, old man. Since Ram's power is sealed, I guess it's back to basics with standard mana training. The darkness receded, leaving only heavy sacrifices behind. We buried our brothers in arms near the silent village. Under the old man's orders, we even buried the enemy soldiers. A final rest for every soul lost. Will they truly find peace? I muttered. My companion replied, Death is the only rest they have now. JF's smile was bittersweet. Rest well, until we meet again. Fennin was laid there too, beside the others. Cook better in the next life, friend. Now, I'm back in training. JF is relentless, despite his relaxed face. Focus, he roared, throwing a heavy punch. Don't just swing your energy. Predict where the strike lands. If your mana leaks, your defense crumbles. The pain was sharp. Every hit was perfectly aimed to break me. Between strikes, JF's eyes narrowed. Levi, be honest. How did a brat like you obtain such holy power? I saw it that day. That presence. It was the god of war himself, wasn't it? He suspected everything. You're seeing things, old man. I grunted, blocking. But my focus wavered for just a split second. JF's fist buried into my chest. Guard your vitals, amateur. I coughed, feeling the air leave my lungs. Keep your secrets then, JF sighed. Everyone has them. Yet, he still hit me with everything he had. How could I tell him? That I'm a reincarnated soul using a game system in this simulation novel? Whatever. It's her turn now, I pointed back. A woman's silhouette emerged from the training grounds. It was Belle, JF whispered. Careful, lad. She's been in a foul mood all week long. Taking her as a disciple was a gamble, they murmured. But she survived the battlefield. She's no ordinary girl. I thought she was a ghost. Belle approached and bowed deeply. An honor to see you, Senior Levi. I froze in confusion. Senior? What's this? Please travel safely, Senior, she chirped, making me want to vanish. Why are your bandages the same color as mine? I asked. Because I admire you, Bell replied with stars. I sat under a tree while Jaff and Bell began. Feel the mana, Jaff commanded. The grueling session started. When do I get a real sword? Bell whined. Swords? You haven't even mastered the basics of a knight. Bell focused her energy, still grumbling. Tch. I just want to swing a blade like the main character. I sighed. This reminded me of my own early days. Suddenly, unfamiliar footsteps echoed through the quiet clearing. Jay. Still living like a hermit, I see. A stranger appeared. JF's face darkened instantly. You again? I was just passing by. The mysterious man laughed. Liar, JF spat. You haven't visited in a year. Greet them, Levi. These are my main business partners. Merchants? I looked at them, sensing something off. No weapons, no guards. In this world, traveling unarmed is either suicide or a sign of terrifying power. What's your real motive? JF asked coldly. The young man just chuckled, unfazed by the killing intent. Why so suspicious? Tell me, does anyone here possess the legendary holy power? The air suddenly turned ice cold. JF and I stiffened. He knew. With a snap of his fingers, the world around us shifted. A massive magic circle erupted. Anti-magic, I gasped. We were instantly trapped by a high-level binding spell. This man was no merchant, he was a master mage. He opened his palm, revealing the shimmering catalysts. Apologies for the force, he smiled thinly. But this is a matter of life and death for us. Let me go, you bastard, JF roared. The man waved his hands. Wait, just listen to my explanation. You encountered a strange crystal stone, didn't you? We call that the Seal of the Abyss. Only holy power can shatter it. And recently, someone broke one nearby. I'm here to verify the source. Was it a human god? Or the Demon King? If it's the latter, I must eliminate the threat immediately. JF calmed down, but his gaze remained sharp. How do you know so much about these cursed stones? It's happened before, hasn't it? JF realized. The man nodded. Many times. In many different places. Why didn't you warn us? JF barked. If we knew, my comrades wouldn't have died for nothing. I could have stopped it all from the beginning. Jeff's voice trembled with rage. The merchant sighed. I can't predict the future, JF. Besides, why would I ruin a perfectly good business opportunity? JF laughed bitterly. Business? You kept quiet just to secure your supply of monster corpses? Everyone benefits, don't they? You keep your job, I keep my stock. The man smiled like a snake. JF's aura exploded as he broke free. You greedy brat. I'll beat that smirk off your face. Hold it. Jaff's world-shaking strike is suddenly met by a legendary blade. Think before you speak. A mysterious woman blocks the blow effortlessly. Levi is stunned. Jaff recoils from the blade of pure energy. Only the slothful sword clan uses the legendary immobile sword style. I am the third sword of the royal guard. Bow before me. Jaff laughs. A cute junior. Let's see what you can actually do. 8 clans rule, but only 3 hold the king's ultimate trust. The first sword Croy and the second sword Schiff dominate this land. You summon weapons with skill, but your movement is severely limited. She summons endless blades, but Jaff smashes them like mere glass. Summon 1,000 swords. I will crush every single one of them. Jaff charges with explosive aura as blades rain down around her. The forest trembles as swords explode, creating a massive cloud of dust. You aimed for my ankles, but my clan is far from lazy. She pins him instantly. Sword arts have surpassed your old legends, Jaff. Tell us, who unleashed that divine holy power? Stop acting stubborn. Jaff refuses to talk. If I wanted to tell you, we wouldn't fight. Fine. I will take your arm since you won't use your tongue. Stop, Levi screams. I used the holy power. Let him go. You fool. Jaff groans while 𝒆𝒂𝒎𝒆 seizes the terrified main character. Levi is lifted by magic. 𝒆𝒂𝒎𝒆 begins a deep, mystical soul scan. A magic circle probes his veins, searching for any trace of energy. Levi feels a sickening surge. Is this the true power of mana? Incredible. 𝒆𝒂𝒎𝒆 gasps in shock. We will unbind you for now. The woman apologizes. Forgive my rudeness. Jaff is finally set free. Now, boy. Let's have a private chat. Levi is extremely wary. 𝒆𝒂𝒎𝒆 whispers a secret that freezes the young main character's heart. You aren't from this world, are you? Levi's secret is exposed. Ancient stones were built to seal the mana of defeated monsters. One stone vanished from the dark forest, and chaos began to spread. The seals are breaking. Anomalies are appearing everywhere across the continent. Are you giving me a history lesson? I need answers, not lectures. Only holy power breaks seals. How can you use both ear and light? Levi shrugs. Is that wrong? 𝒆𝒄𝒂𝒎𝒆 looks at him with pure terror. Aura and holy power cannot coexist. It defies the laws of nature. Levi realizes his system converts his very life into pure combat power. They cannot fathom my strength. To them, I am just a weak newbie. Soon, they will realize I carry the power of a true Dark Lord. How does this man know I am an otherworlder? Levi grows suspicious. Suddenly, 𝒆𝒂𝒏 asks a strange question. Do you want to pray? I want to see if you have a link to the gods. Does praying connect us? 𝒆𝒂𝒏 stares as if Levi is an alien. You have never spoken to a god? Levi avoids the piercing gaze. The contract between me and the war god has officially ended. A contract? That implies you are equal to a divine being. This guy is sharp. Should I act crazy or reveal my secret system information window? Levi hesitated, but 𝒆𝒂𝒏's expression was dead serious. He had a direct proposal for our hero. The more you speak, the more questions I have. Just try praying to your god first. If you are sincere, the god will answer. Levi reluctantly closed his eyes to try. Not a god, but a bastard eating my life. Show yourself. His consciousness drifted into the void. He entered a cosmic space. Mortal, your prayers have reached me. A booming voice echoed. I am Marilla, god of life. I have answered you. Levi stared in utter confusion. Ram won't answer. You ignored our rules and treated our pact like a mere toy. What do you mean by rules? Levi glared at Marilla, demanding an explanation right now. Marilla ignored him. I came to judge your laziness, but your current state is unstable. You should pay a price, but I'll assist you instead. The system suddenly flickered back online. System restoration initiated. Shop function restored. Stat window and quest functions are now active. Main quest activated. Final reward. Removal of the life. Restricting penalty. Levi gasped at the screen. This is it. The main character peered into the system with newfound hope and determination. 𝒆𝒂𝒏 stood frozen. Is that Marilla's divine power flowing into his F-rank Demon King body? Mana and divine power shouldn't coexist. 3 separate energies should destroy any mortal's fragile body. Even gods struggle with another god's power. He watched Levi with pure, unadulterated terror. Yet, Levi absorbed the holy light as easily as breathing air. Is he truly the one? 𝒆𝒂𝒏 realized something huge. Meanwhile, Jeff waited under a tree for their return, sighing. My body is aching all over. Jin asked if the old knight was doing okay. I'm fine, kid. Why does that brat Levi suddenly need someone who uses divine power? Jin remained cold. I just follow his orders without question. Jeff scoffed at her answer. If you don't know, just say so. Jin continued. I heard he wants to end threats. Don't worry too much. Nothing will go wrong. Jeff suddenly stood up with a fierce gaze. It better not. If Levi gets hurt, I won't be a retired knight. I'll be your nightmare. You will pay for touching my village. He unleashed a massive, terrifying aura upon Jin. As the leader of the monster hunters, Jeff's pressure was overwhelming. Jin felt the weight. So, he was holding back before? Jeff didn't want to fight, and turned away grumbling. Now, I can only pray. I hope that idiot kid doesn't do anything too stupid. Belle called out to Jin. Can I ask about that glowing sword you held earlier? How did you do that? It was so cool. Jin summoned a small energy blade. Wake up, kid. Only high rankers can use those advanced techniques, Jeff reminded the curious girl. Jin ignored him and showed Belle. Like this. Hey, why are you just telling her everything? We create these blades using the stigma on our palms. Jeff explained the holy marks. Stigma sounds fancy. It's just a mana circuit. Belle asked what a circuit even was. Energy circulates between positive and negative poles. Warriors use this flow for strength and endurance. By creating specific paths for mana or E, we can unleash exclusive, powerful combat skills. Jeff added that the sword family's unique skill is creating illusions. Belle's eyes sparkled. Stop encouraging her. Belle asked if they had anything similar for her to learn too. Jeff immediately crushed her hopes. No, kid. Don't give me that disappointed look either. Belle pouted. I was a fool to expect anything. Jeff preached about hard work instead. Power comes from training, not tattoos. But you got beaten easily earlier, Bell retorted sharply. Jeff exploded in anger. Who taught you to talk to your elders like that, brat? Just then, Levi and Tessua returned. The atmosphere shifted as the F-rank king stepped forward. Who taught a brat like you to talk back? He roared in fury. Just then, Levi and To finally made their return. What's with all the noise? Levi is finally back. Bayo, getting his cheeks pinched, greets everyone warmly. Don't do anything stupid, the old man warns. Levi simply replies that the situation is mostly settled. Mostly settled? The old man shouts. I asked if you did anything reckless during the mission. Meanwhile, Jin whispers to Tessua in disbelief. Is it true? Can he really wield holy power? Holy power and ether simultaneously. Tessua mutters. A monster like him only appears once in a lifetime. But that's not all. The night continues. His connection isn't limited to just one single deity. Strangely, he lacks the mark of a divine creation. Tessua's eyes narrow with a deep, mysterious intrigue. This man is a total enigma. Despite his grumpiness, 𝒉𝒄𝒄𝒎𝒆 invites the team for dinner. Wait, the old man is actually cooking for us? Bio cheers at this rare act of kindness. Did you find the information you needed? 𝒉𝒄𝒄𝒎𝒆 asks. Tessua smiles, confirming Levi is no heretic. He's a good man with the skill to break seals. So, why don't you finally retire from this forest? Since the seal stone shattered, the monster count is dropping. But 𝒉𝒄𝒄𝒎𝒆 isn't ready to leave his post yet. The monsters are decreasing? The old man scoffs. It will take 10 years for them to truly vanish. There are still far too many. I'm staying. Tessua sighs at the old man's stubborn determination. Have you lost your mind? This is your chance. You could return to your rank as a noble knight. 𝒉𝒄𝒄𝒎𝒆 remains unmoved. Why do you think I do this? I still need gold from hunting these beasts. Suddenly, the Viscount's soldiers interrupt the conversation. 𝒉𝒄𝒄𝒎𝒆 clenches his fist, ready for a bloody clash. Bera's knights again? You want to fight? Wait, sir. It's a misunderstanding, the soldier cries out. A drunken officer steps forward with a wide grin. We brought meat and wine as a thank you gift. We waited for you, but started the party early. The soldier stammers, offering a peace offering of ale. Come join us, Commander. Let's drink for joy. That night, bonfires blazed, chasing away the cold air. Laughter echoed as they feasted on beer and meat. Bio stuffed her face until she was completely full. Hey Jin, aren't you going to drink? Bio asks. Not while I'm on duty, the serious woman replies. Levi sat alone, a solitary shadow amidst the joy. Tessua approached, noticing the main character's lonely aura. You really enjoy being a loner, don't you? Levi glares. Are you here to annoy me again? Tessua laughs, putting an arm around his shoulder. Don't be so cold. We're comrades, aren't we? I have a special gift for you, Tessua says. He hands over a crumpled piece of paper. Levi's eyes widen as he reads the wanted poster. My debt is 8,000 gold, but my bounty, 6,000 gold, and 20,000 after verification? This is absolutely ridiculous. Levi growls in frustration. Cashing that in would change someone's life, 𝒉𝒄𝒄𝒎𝒆 jokes. You've certainly ruffled some powerful feathers, kid. It's a miracle your head is still on your shoulders. Levi grips the paper, his gaze turning icy cold. This will blow over soon. I have debts to pay. 𝒉𝒄𝒄𝒎𝒆 looks thoughtful. So, you're a man of debt? Regardless, that bounty is sky high, Tessua adds. Anyway, old man, are you really staying in this forest? You've asked me that before, 𝒉𝒄𝒄𝒎𝒆 replies calmly. Look at the soldiers and the villagers gathered here. Without us, they would have been slaughtered long ago. They would have died without even knowing why. He smiles with the pride of a true warrior. The palace has many knights, but these people only have me. Tessua falls silent, finally understanding the old man's heart. Fine. If that's your path, I won't stop you. Levi watches them, a rare smile tugging at his lips. Suddenly, the system's cold voice rings in his head. System, recovery complete. Initializing main quest. Main quest 1. The hunt begins. Levi looks at the prompt. Hey, 𝒉𝒄𝒄𝒎𝒆. Tessua, do either of you know what 𝒉𝒄𝒄𝒎𝒆 is? Panic erupts. 𝒉𝒄𝒄𝒎𝒆 instantly slams his hand over Levi's mouth. Shut your mouth this instant, the old man hisses. Levi stares, confused, but the quest is already set. Tracking down the forbidden secret, 𝒉𝒄𝒄𝒎𝒄. 𝑗 scans the room, sweating. Did anyone else hear? The others are too drunk, Teshua whispers, equally tense. I'll keep it a secret, Teshua promises with a grim face. Levi grows irritated by their extreme, fearful reactions. Whatever happens, never speak that name here again. 𝑗 warning hangs heavy in the midnight air. Levi let out a weary sigh. Why is everyone reacting like this? Guilford's gaze sharpened. This isn't a game, Levi. Be serious for once. Tesu stepped in to mediate. Wait. It seems Levi is truly ignorant of the truth. He held up 3 fingers with a grim face. The 3 guardian gods. Know them? No, Levi replied bluntly. Tesu sighed. His expectations of the boy's knowledge confirmed. War, blessing, and order. The Holy Trinity. They fought the ultimate evil. Humanity bled to seal that monster. We call those entities the demon gods. Levi froze as the weight hit him. Was he truly hunting humanity's greatest nightmare? Tesu warned him gravely. In the past, scholars were executed just for speaking his name. But I'm perfectly fine, Levi shrugged. Tesu stared at him like he was insane. It's not divine lightning, you fool. It is the law of absolute heresy. Utter that name, and the church will execute you. And everyone standing beside you. I'm telling you this to save your neck. The Inquisition shows no mercy. Guilford narrowed his eyes. Why are you so obsessed with the demon god anyway? Levi hesitated, his secrets guarded. I have reasons. Answers I must find at any cost. Guilford slammed the table in a rage. Tesu, what kind of madness is this? It wasn't me. Tesu waved his hands. Levi quickly stepped in to clarify. I've only focused on surviving until now. But my purpose has finally become clear. The gods are watching my every move. They are far too interested in my fate. Guilford gasped. Is that why you possess such terrifying divine power? Perhaps. I need to know why. Why me? What do they want me to do? Guilford watched him, intrigued and worried. Would you truly defy the heavens, Levi? Tesu smiled despite the tension. Levi finally relaxed his stone-cold expression. My conclusion is simple, Levi declared. It's time for me to move on. Guilford let out a long, nostalgic breath. You've grown since you first knelt before me. Fine. Go to the capital of Ixia. Chase your destiny there, you brat. Ixia? Levi tilted his head. The land where dragons and humans coexist? Exactly. You'll find the clues you seek regarding the demon god there. Legends say the demon god was a dragon, a shadow lurking in their history. Ixia ignores the church's dogmas. It's the perfect place to hunt forbidden information. It's a long journey, Tesu added. Rest up. We leave at first light. The next morning, Belle was already training. She focused her internal energy with intensity. Jin walked by, impressed. Practicing so early? You're dedicated, little one. You said this was the only way, Belle panted. I need to get stronger fast. Her eyes clouded with a brief sorrow. I won't let anyone manipulate my heart again. I want to fight like Brother Levi, but I only have these fists. Jin handed her a shimmering, radiant blade. Take this. It's time for a real weapon. It's too light for me now, but perfect for you. Belle's eyes sparkled. A real sword? For me? She gripped the hilt, overflowing with joy. Asterisk, crack, asterisk. The blade suddenly shattered into 1,000 pieces. Belle stood in shock. Why? How did it just break like that? Guilford and Levi watched from the side. You're being careless with your energy, girl. Levi rolled his eyes. Not this lecture again. My ears are aching. Listen, brat. This is the foundation of power. Timing is your lifeblood. Release your energy too early, and you'll destroy your own weapon. Focus. Levy turned to Jeff with a smirk. Didn't Bello just use ear? You've been training her well. They watched Jean comfort the sobbing girl. Jeff smiled warmly. She's a natural, a true genius. Genius is an understatement. Honestly, teaching her must be way more fun than dealing with me. Jeff huffed. 100%. Levy then turned to Teshua. By the way, I'm leaving too. This place is too clean for an elegant guy like me. Jeff snapped. Ungrateful brat. Was the food bad? Teshua handed over a mysterious object. A parting gift. Levy accepted it, his curiosity piqued. Remember my trade company? That's an honorary ID card. It will prove invaluable on your journey. Take this too, Jeff added, handing over a heavy sack. It was filled with rare monster loot. Consider it your severance pay, Levi smiled. A nice fortune for a departing F-rank demon king. Thanks, Captain. These past 2 months were a rare peace before the inevitable storm of destiny. 2 months ago, he was a lone wolf who trusted no one. Now, everything had finally changed. A tearful bellow asked if he'd return. He realized then he wasn't walking this dark path alone anymore. Don't be silly, Jeff laughed. Come back whenever you want. This isn't a final goodbye, kid. Nothing lasts forever. The day of his departure arrived much sooner than he had ever expected. He walked away from the familiar forest. Little did he know, the ancient shadows were already stirring. A winged figure loomed above. Soon, the world will be ours. The black stone seal. It was in that forest, but now it's vanished. What the hell happened after that chaos? Bonap glared at the horizon. A mysterious voice whispered, a human, wielding holy power? Impossible. We must watch him. He could become a devastating obstacle to our grand, dark design. Where is that bastard going? Bonap asked. He's heading straight for the heart of the Seiya Empire. Oh? How delicious. A woman perched on the Emperor's throne licked her lips with hungry anticipation. The men here are so boring. Let him in. She smirked, already tasting his potential power. At Seiya Castle, chaos erupted. Capture him. Heavy footsteps thundered through the stone corridors. Stop right there. Guards chased Levi as he cursed. Quit following me, you damn persistent idiots. Why would guards leave their posts for him? Damn it. Has my bounty spread this far already? Even in this distant land, his face was everywhere. These greedy soldiers were desperate for the gold. So annoying. Should I just slaughter them? Suddenly, Jeff's stern warning flashed in his mind. Not worth the effort, he sighed, retracting his killing intent. These weaklings weren't worth his time. Think of the reward, the guards roared. Levi didn't look back, vanishing into a sudden, blinding sprint. Nearby, a merchant caravan screamed in terror as monsters struck. Levi watched the carnage from the cliffs. Leave the luggage. Run, the leader cried. Levi frowned. Seiya is more chaotic than I imagined. Bloodthirsty wolves surrounded the prey. Levi hadn't seen monsters this aggressive so close to the city. They didn't just hunt, they slaughtered. The merchants stood no chance against such primal, savage fury. Those too slow met a gruesome end. The air grew thick with the agonizing scent of blood. The leader tripped, a werewolf looming over him. He stared into the jaws of death, utterly helpless. Asterisk, clang, asterisk. A mercenary's blade blocked the fangs. Levi watched, intrigued. Maybe they aren't all useless. Hold the line. More soldiers arrived, drawing steel. If the army was competent, this would end now. Meeting me is your lucky day, the mercenary laughed. In this hellhole, I'm your only salvation. Please, save our cargo, the merchant begged. We will pay you anything. Just protect the goods. Levi narrowed his eyes. Mercenaries? Where is the actual Seiya army? Why are they hiding away? On the cliff, 2 guards hesitated. Forget the monsters. If we get involved, it's just trouble. Pretend we saw nothing. Let's go. That wanted brat is worth 20,000 gold pieces. They retreated, consumed by greed. Levi's blood boiled. They're abandoning their own people for a bounty? What happened to the honor of this kingdom? The mercenary struck, but something was horribly wrong. The wound closed instantly. The beast's eyes glowed with an unnatural, infinite power of regeneration. The mercenary froze. High-speed regeneration? With one brutal slam, Levi crushed him into a bloody pulp. The merchant shrieked in terror. You're all useless. Someone, save me. I will pay any price. Chaos erupted as people were tossed aside. Levi turned away. I'm a wanted man. Why seek trouble? Let the Seiya military handle this. He refused to draw unnecessary attention to his hidden power. Jeff's voice echoed in his mind. Never judge a soul's worth by its mere utility, Levi. A true king needs no reason to save a life. Levi stopped, his gaze turning cold and sharp. The merchant wailed as death approached. Suddenly, the werewolf's head was severed in one perfect flash. A dark silhouette descended from the sky. With a shimmering blade, Levi moved like a phantom. Each strike was a masterpiece of slaughter. System alert. Monster annihilation complete. Levi's blade glowed with power. He checked the interface. 1 monster per 10 seconds? Too slow compared to the dark forest. A girl rushed toward him, breathless. Was that you? Did you just save us all? I am Leia of the Mechanical Guild. The purple-haired girl adjusted her glasses, staring in awe. The Mechanical Guild? She began rambling about treaties and contracts, her voice filled with desperate energy. Just give me my share, Levi stated. But the other mercenaries began to snarl with envy. Hold it! We almost killed those beasts. You just stole our final blow after we lost men. Leia smirked at their cowardice. A dispute? Fine. Let's settle this with a simple test of strength. Strike the monster's remains. Your contribution will be written in the depth of the wound. The thugs hesitated. One stepped forward, swinging his sword with a pathetic, shaky roar. Asterisk. Clang! Asterisk. The blade bounced off the fur. Not even a scratch. The mercenary trembled in humiliation. Next, Leia called out. They made pathetic excuses, begging for another chance to prove their worth. Levi's patience snapped. He gripped his hilt. Enough noise. Witness the gap between us. He plunged his blade deep, erupting blue blood. If you want to play hero, stop using toys. Fight me all at once. The winner takes the entire reward. Any takers? Levi challenged them. They fled in terror. Yet, Leia tossed them a heavy bag of gold. Wait, take this. The mercenaries were stunned. But we didn't do anything? Why give us this much gold? Call it a consolation prize, Leia smiled. Without your distraction, we wouldn't have survived until he arrived. The cowards hurried away, praising her generosity. Levi watched them, his eyes narrowing with suspicion. Why reward trash? Levi asked. Leia sighed. Trust is the only currency the guild values. If we don't pay, no one helps next time. Levi nodded slowly. A logical, if bitter, truth. Leia leaned in. Now, tell me, who are you really, mysterious mercenary? What is your name? Levi Deli. He revealed Tesu's seal. Leia gasped. It was the mark of a legendary leader. I need entry to Seiya Castle. Even with a bounty on my head. Can you get me in? Leia's face turned grim. Seiya? Levi. I am warning you as a friend. Do not go there. That kingdom is a graveyard. Seiya is standing on the absolute precipice of total destruction. Inside the throne room, panic reigned. Your Majesty, monsters have breached the outer gates. It's over. The army is starving. Soldiers are deserting. The very foundation of our city is crumbling to dust. The ruler sat motionless on the throne, indifferent to the screams. A cold blade suddenly flashed. The messenger fell, silenced forever. The queen wants peace? How dare you insult her royal name? Treason. All of you are traitors. The emperor ranted, lost in a delusional, blood-soaked fever dream. My Seiya is eternal, he screamed. But outside, the empire was already rotting from within. The currency collapsed. Hope vanished. In the streets, citizens turned into beasts, hunting each other. I won't trade this for meat, a man roared, striking a starving customer to the ground. Go find gold or die. Blood pooled on the cobblestones. The city's light had finally gone out. Security was a myth. Crimes and shadows ruled the alleys. Seiya was no longer a country. A carriage was suddenly halted by armed men. Stop! What are you hiding in there? Show yourselves. Leia tossed a bag of coins to the guard like it was mere pocket change. The bribe worked perfectly. They passed the gate, proving that gold opens any door. Levi thanked her. It's the least I can do for my savior, Leia replied warmly. She smiled, but Levi was focused on his next move in this dangerous world. He recalled the demon god's name. He needed to find answers about his true power. The temple was too risky. He needed a place with hidden knowledge, the great library. The library of Levi? He stood before the massive archive, feeling the weight of history. It was a gargantuan storehouse of books. He never expected such grandeur in this realm. Clutching his loot, he headed toward the mercenary guild to settle his mounting debt. Cold steel met his neck the moment he entered. The atmosphere turned lethal instantly. He expected trouble, but being surrounded by blades was a bit much for a visitor. Are you insane, Levi? A mercenary growled. The bounty hunters were closing in. Killing him was more profitable than collecting his debt. They weren't letting him leave. Levi didn't blink. If you could have killed me, you would have struck already. He drew his blade. A wave of murderous intent suppressed every man in the room. Stand down, a sharp voice rang out from the stairs. A mysterious figure appeared. The bounty was 2,000 gold for his life. That's a king's ransom for one man. Such a high price meant he was a target for nations or high-ranking nobles. 𝑑𝒐𝒘𝒆𝒄𝒎𝒆? Levi recognized the bald man. It's been a while, old man. The man adjusted his glasses. So, you've come back to pay your blood debt? The guild was closing this branch. It was time to settle the score once and for all. 8,000 gold was paid. Is my name clear now? Levi asked coldly. Not yet. You still owe 6,580 gold in interest. Levi slammed the table. That interest is insane. Who is behind this robbery? 30% monthly interest. In this world, the law only protects the predators. Levi was stunned by the greed. The mercenaries just laughed at his frustration. Laws mean nothing here. Levi realized he was being hunted by a corrupt system. The bald man smirked. We won't fight yet. Your value only goes up with time. He waved as he left, leaving Levi fuming with a face full of rage. Desperate to pay, Levi pulled out rare monster parts. Wait! Take these as payment. The 𝒊𝒂𝒎𝒄 guild couldn't even afford such high-quality materials. They were too poor. They were worth 10,000, but the bald man offered 4,900. That's half price, Levi shouted. The merchant just smiled and polished his glasses. He used complex excuses, national debts, and market crashes to justify the scam. Logistics, insurance, and taxes. He bombarded Levi with a wall of economic jargon. Levi's head spun. He was being outplayed by a master of manipulation. It's a fair deal, the man insisted. Levi felt like he was walking into hell. Don't worry, the mercenary guild always finds a way to make use of you. Levi finally gave in. Fine. Just tell me what mission will clear this debt. Go to Lumina Inn. Capture the guest in room 201. Alive. Levi stood before the crumbling lodge. Something about this mission smelled like a trap. A capture mission for a noble? This was definitely going to be a disaster. He just wanted to finish this job and escape this cursed pile of debt. Deep inside the shadows of the inn, a pair of glowing eyes watched him. He reached room 201. The sign fell, echoing a dark omen of death. Boom! The door shatters from a single punch. A woman emerges, but Levi instantly greets her with a crushing blow. He dodges her strike with predatory grace. Sharp moves, but I am afraid our power levels are worlds apart. Surrender, and follow me. As he speaks, another shadow lunges. Levi catches the new attacker with effortless ease. It seems like a mother and daughter duo attempting a desperate escape. The small girl dangles helplessly in Levi's grip. Who are you calling a child? She screams in a tiny, high-pitched fury. Her eyes burn with absolute indignation. Laughter echoes through the decaying house. I was just testing your worth. The mercenary guild finally sent someone capable. Levi frowns, realizing he has been played again. The guild? You requested a talented mercenary. Was it that bald man? Elsewhere. The bald recruiter chuckles while scanning documents. They must have met by now. My plan is working perfectly. Wait. I only care about finishing the job and clearing my debt, Levi grumbles. But the girl cuts him off. Mercenaries only care for gold, right? Name your price. I promise you anything under the name of Seiya. The Seiya name? Royal blood. Levi's face darkens. What a stroke of bad luck. I am leaving this instant. How dare you turn your back on me? Soria screams as Levi walks away. Her companion begs him to listen. Sit down, mercenary. The princess has not finished speaking. Levi stares her down coldly, sighing at the mounting drama. Fine. I will hear you out to avoid more trouble. He turns back. What does royalty want with a lowly sellsword? Have you heard of Josephine? She asks. Before Levi can answer, she shouts, She is the wicked queen poisoning us. Kill that evil woman for me. Levi freezes. Without a second thought, he turns to leave. Royal business is poison. You already heard too much, Soria cries out. She begins the tragic tale of the dragon and human kingdom. My father, the king, built a land of mutual respect. His subjects loved him deeply, offering pure white lilies. But he loved one woman more than his own people. Josephine appeared, charming the king with a deadly, gentle smile. That was my mother, Queen Josephine. Those were happy days. But then, she suddenly died of a mysterious illness. The king fell into a pit of absolute despair. Levi scowls. Josephine is dead? You want me to kill a ghost? The companion looks away. The story is only beginning. Weeks after the funeral, Josephine appeared before the grieving king. The dead do not return, yet this woman had the queen's voice, scent, and warmth. The king was blinded by joy. But the king changed. He abandoned the country, obsessed only with her. The kingdom fell under Josephine's dark shadow. Anyone who opposed her was silenced by the king's rage. Backed by his power, her reign of terror continues. Complicated, Levi says, holding up 2 fingers. First, must you tell this tragic story while standing on a bed? Seiya snaps back. Do you expect me to look up at you while I speak? Levi sighs at her pride. Second, if you are the princess, why hire a mercenary? Surely you have allies among the noble factions. Seiya hesitates. The nobles have all defected to Josephine's side. She looks at him. Is money not your only god? Levi scoffs. Listen, princess. Mercenaries risk their lives for gold, but we do not commit suicide for a few coins. Levi narrowed his eyes. Jospin is dead. You want me to hunt a ghost? What kind of twisted quest is this? He glanced at the girl behind him, but she avoided his gaze. I understand your confusion, she whispered. But the nightmare is only beginning. Weeks after the queen's funeral, Jospin reappeared before the grieving king. We all know the dead are not supposed to return. This new Jospin was unsettlingly different, yet she mirrored the late queen's every expression and tone with haunting perfection. Her touch was warm, her scent identical. It was enough to drag the suffering king from his despair back into a false paradise. But the king changed. He became obsessed, abandoning his crown and his kingdom, just to worship his undead bride every single day. Soon, the empire fell under Jospin's shadow. Anyone who dared to resist her was silenced by the king's absolute, terrifying fury. Silence! How dare you insult my queen? I won't let you take her again. Protected by royal madness, Jospin's dark reign continued. Quite the mess. I have 2 questions. Levi raised 2 fingers. First, must you tell this story while standing on top of a bed? Seiya snapped back instantly. Do you expect a princess to look up at a mere mercenary while she speaks to him? Levi rolled his eyes for a moment, but his gaze suddenly sharpened as he shifted to a far more serious tone. Second, you are a princess. If Jospin is a fake, why hire a low-rank mercenary instead of using your royal authority? She hesitated, her composure cracking. Because the nobility have already sworn their souls to Jospin's side. I have no one left. Does that matter? Isn't gold the only thing your kind cares about? Levi decided it was time to educate the young princess. Listen, we risk our lives for gold, but we don't throw them away. Even a mercenary knows when a contract is suicide. I refuse to be a pawn in your suicide missions. Her cruelty doesn't concern me. Stop proving you're right and start proving we can win. If not, I'm leaving. He stands to leave without a second thought. Wait! The kingdom will fall. Levi ignores her. Why care for this world? Suddenly, the girl blocks his path. Sit down, mercenary. Don't be disrespectful. She threatens him, but Levi's eyes change. His eyes glow a predatory red. Know your place. You won't survive my blade. I won't be gentle this time. They let him leave. What a total waste. Levi mutters while walking. No plan, no intel. She's just a dreaming child. No money earned, and that bald bastard. His smirking face is purely irritating. He clears his mind and focuses. The main mission hasn't changed at all. The system flickers. Quest. Find 𝑩𝒆𝒄𝒂𝒎𝒆. I need to reach the library. He remembers Laya's words about the massive archive. It's time to go there. He arrives at the Royal Library of Seiya. But something feels very off. A shimmering barrier blocks the way. A magical boundary separating knowledge from reality. Levi touches the surface. Why guard books so fiercely? He still doesn't understand. This world hoards power. Magic and martial arts are only for the elite. Levi strikes the barrier. Knowledge is a weapon the nobles use for control. They hide the truth to keep the weak down. The library is a fortress. Not a single scratch. Imperial security is absolute. Levi sheathes his blade, disappointed. There must be another way, he thinks, walking away into the quiet distance. Suddenly, he's back at the start. He's been walking in a perfect loop. He sees his sword mark on the ground. Why am I back here again? A glowing rift appears. The barrier vanishes. So, you're finally inviting me in? He steps inside the silent library. I hope I don't regret this entrance. Levi wanders the empty halls. You lure me in, then ignore me? Rude. At least offer me some tea, he mutters. Then, a voice echoes down. First-timers usually freeze in awe of these endless shelves. The scale overwhelms them. But you aren't moved. Is it your experience? Or do you just not care? Levi sighs. This place is grand, but Earth's digital libraries were far superior. I've seen better, he replies. Are there books here regarding the ancient gods? Specifically, anything about the demon god, 𝑩𝒄𝒂𝒎𝒆. The air suddenly turns cold. The stranger smiles. I thought you were just a thug here to rob us. Now, you've piqued my interest. Suddenly, the man vanishes and reappears behind him. Levi lunges for his sword, but it's already gone. The stranger holds it. Let's put the weapons away. In an instant, they are sitting at a table. I've prepared your tea. Now, let's talk. Levi is completely caught off guard. This man is a high-level mage. We're both busy, so let's set rules. Levi's instincts scream danger. The mage places an hourglass on the table. We take turns asking questions until the sand runs out. No lies allowed. Answer honestly or die, Levi thinks. The mage asks, Do you know her? 𝑩𝒄𝒂𝒎𝒆, Levi says. The mage ponders. A forgotten name. Truly interesting. Now it's Levi's turn. He looks the powerful mage straight in the eyes. I received a revelation. Where must I go to meet the god 𝑩𝒄𝒂𝒎𝒆? The mage frowns. I hate the term demon god. It's just human arrogance. You need a holy relic and a temple. Now, who decides her destiny? In this world, gods aren't good or evil, only allies and enemies exist. Levi agreed. It was a cold reality. No morality? So by human standards, she is a demon goddess. Humans only want to worship good gods. That is why they buried the truth and rewrote history. Levi wasn't surprised by their pathetic deception. Where are the artifact and the shrine? Levi demanded. The sorcerer revealed the artifact was hidden in Seiya. The shrine lay north, in the Choisenan Empire, though its exact location remained a lost mystery. She lost her physical form? Levi asked, stunned. The demon goddess 𝑩𝒄𝒂𝒎𝒆 was no longer among the living. She had rebelled against Solos, the god of humanity, and suffered a crushing defeat in that ancient war. Her power was stripped away. You have asked 2 questions. Now, tell me, who are you exactly? I am Levi Deli, a mere mercenary, he lied. Now, how do I communicate with the fallen 𝑩𝒄𝒂𝒎𝒆? You are hiding the full truth, Levi snapped. The sorcerer scoffed, claiming the gods had already vanished. If the gods are gone, searching for shrines is a waste of time, right? The man calmly explained. The artifact holds the god's will. Bring it to the shrine to begin the forbidden ritual. You might not speak face to face, but your soul can reach her. I could teach you the ritual, but, unfortunately, I cannot speak of it. Levi's eyes turned cold as he glared at the mysterious wizard. You can't tell me? Or you won't? Levi realized the man spoke of 𝑩𝒄𝒂𝒎𝒆 with strange familiarity. He spoke as if he had witnessed the fall of the gods himself. What are you hiding from me? I hide nothing, the man replied calmly. First, it is my turn. Second, your time has run out. The sand in the hourglass had emptied. Next time, we shall talk without these annoying time limits. He sipped his tea and smiled. But next time, try entering through the official royal entrance instead. Suddenly, space warped, and Levi was teleported outside the library. He stood there, completely stunned and empty-handed. Damn it! I learned nothing. Frustrated, Levi tossed the useless teacup aside. These powerful wizards were everywhere lately. As he grumbled, he felt a sharp gaze. Several royal soldiers were approaching, and they looked aggressive. Hey, you! A guard barked. This land belongs to the imperial family. Why are you loitering here? I just came out of the library, Levi replied. The guard drew his sword, his face twisting in anger. Liar! No one enters the imperial library without royal permission. State your true purpose or face execution. Looking at the blade at his throat, Levi finally understood. That wizard meant he needed a royal's favor. The only royalty Levi knew was a total headache. He groaned as he thought of the mad Princess Seiya. Damn that crazy princess, Levi muttered, trying to find a way out of this annoying mess. He raised his hands in mock surrender. Fine, I will leave. But the guard wasn't listening anymore. You are a suspicious intruder. Arrest him immediately. The guard's blade surged with a deadly aura of energy. Levi drew his own sword. I really didn't want things to get messy. I prefer not to kill today. But I am not very good at holding back, so pray you survive the first strike, Levi threatened. You arrogant brat, the captain roared, though he trembled at the sudden pressure Levi emitted. All units, attack, they clashed. Levi didn't dodge. He wanted to see the true strength of these Imperial Knights. Just as they were about to collide, a massive explosion rocked the ground, sending debris flying everywhere. Who dares interfere with the Royal Guard? The captain screamed through the thick clouds of dust. It was Emma. She commanded them to stop, claiming the princess had personally authorized this man's presence. Put your swords away, Levi. Don't make this more complicated. The captain stepped forward, looking skeptical. The princess authorized him? Fine. But tell her to stop causing trouble outside the palace walls. We are the ones who have to clean up her chaotic messes. The guards grumbled and marched away. Thanks for the save, Levi said, sheathing his blade. Emma didn't want his thanks. She pointed upward. Don't thank me. Thank the princess. Levi sighed. He had to face that woman eventually anyway. A loud, mocking laugh echoed from above. Ha ha ha. So, you finally accepted my help, Levi. Princess Seiya stood on the rooftop, looking down like a conqueror. She had been watching the whole time. I saw you struggling and decided to throw you a bone. Now, you owe me a very big favor. Silence fell as the princess expressed her gratitude. No one knew how to respond to such royal sincerity. Levi gritted his teeth, suppressing his true nature. She's just my ticket into the library, he thought. Perfect. It's a deal then. A wise choice, mercenary Levi. Welcome to the front lines. Just call me Levi. He looked at her, exasperated. Do you really have to stand so dramatically while talking? Shut up, she snapped instantly. It seemed her first royal command to him was total silence. They shifted focus to the previous incident. A library pass? She questioned his failed infiltration attempt. Levi sighed. He couldn't reveal his true demonic objective. It was just a misunderstanding. He lied. I was simply searching for something important. Levi rubbed his chin, masking his growing suspicion. A royal pass. If she knew he was hunting the manhwa, his cover would be blown. She raised a finger. Tell me, are you another fool hunting the legendary dragon? A dragon? Levi was genuinely confused. Rumor says a dragon dwells within the library's heart. She smirked mockingly. A greedy mercenary like you only cares for gold, not ancient myths. Levi's blood boiled. Her arrogance was insulting, but at least her assumptions were wrong. Just wait. After this mission, I'll show this pampered princess what true fear feels like. This is a full-scale rebellion. I won't lie to myself, our enemy is the entire royal army. Failure means death. We'll become enemies of the state, hunted until we flee this kingdom, or until we are executed. The stakes were far higher than a simple escort mission. I know it's unfair to ask this of a wanderer, to risk everything against a sovereign nation, but we are out of time and options. If the plan fails, there is no tomorrow. I don't need you to win the war. Just be the perfect distraction for their blade. Levi scoffed. Being a decoy against the royal army was a death sentence for any normal man. We're hunting a demon disguised as a queen. Surely we aren't doing this with just 3 people? She slammed the table. Of course not. My brother, the prince, is already moving in the shadows. Suddenly, her guardian Emma cut her off. Your Highness, I believe we've said enough for now. Someone is listening. Emma's eyes darted toward the shadows, her hand gripping her hilt. The princess froze. Privacy was their only shield in this game of high-stakes treason. Levi sighed. This messy plan was already teetering on the edge of total disaster. The operation begins in 4 days. Your job is simple. Keep me alive. Now go. Get some sleep before the blood starts flowing. You're the one who looks exhausted, Levi muttered, turning toward the exit. I'll be in the opposite room if you need me. Emma watched him leave in silence. What a long night, the princess sighed. Emma, stay back. I need to verify something first. Levi Deli, the Soul Reaper. That's your true name, isn't it? Emma's voice was cold. I checked the Mercenary Guild's black records. You have a very bloody history for a newbie. Suspected of slaughtering your entire previous unit. Levi stopped, his aura turning razor sharp. Did you follow me just to gossip about my past? What do you really want? The princess wants to save this country, but she is far too trusting of monsters like you. The Azure Dragon Knights are joining us. With them, a lowly mercenary like you is redundant. Their leader is General Kaiser, a legendary hero of the Holy War. A survivor from the Holy War? Levi's interest was finally piqued by a worthy opponent. Prove your worth to me. I don't care what the princess sees in you, I see a threat. Emma of the Azure Dragon Knights challenges you. Show me the strength of a Soul Reaper. You're challenging me because I kicked you earlier? Levi taunted, his eyes gleaming with dark intent. Emma drew her blade, her face flushed with rage. You won't escape this time. Fine. If you fall, you lose. I'll even give you a handicap, no skills. Just pure steel. Steel clashed as she lunged, but Levi parried the blow effortlessly. The princess watched, completely mesmerized. Testing Levi's hidden potential was the right move. Emma's eyes flared with an intense, burning battle spirit. Was this the legendary might of the Northern mercenaries? Emma was more than enough to test his limits. But wait, Emma was being pushed back. This power. How could an F-ranker possess such overwhelming strength? The kingdom's strongest knight? To Levi, they were nothing but weaklings beneath his notice. With a single flick of his wrist, a violent gust sent them flying. The princess stood there, speechless. Emma collapsed, losing consciousness instantly. Levi smirked. Seiya's finest was a complete and utter disappointment. If this is the peak, the mission will be a breeze. Meanwhile, the fallen prince glared in agony. Blood sprayed as he gripped his blade. Even as queen, you dare strike the rightful heir? He roared in defiance, but the queen's gaze remained cold. His throne was slipping away. Give up, prince, the guard commanded. Every shred of evidence regarding the assassination has been uncovered. Even for royalty, there are lines you cannot cross. Seiya is rotting from its very core. The queen's voice dripped with poison. Did he truly believe he could kill his own blood? Am I not like a mother to you? She mocked. The prince's rage finally boiled over. Shut your mouth. You are the reason this kingdom is falling into ruin, he screamed. I will have your head displayed in the square, he vowed, but she only laughed at him. Still blaming others? She asked. It was your own pathetic greed that triggered this tragedy. He trembled with fury as she suddenly grabbed his face, her eyes piercing his very soul. Is this for justice? She whispered. Or is it just your own desperate hunger for power? The princess panicked. All contact with their allies had been completely severed since the dead of night. We've lost them, Emma reported grimly. Not just the prince, but every single soul has vanished. Fear gripped her heart. It's too early to give up, but we must find a new sanctuary. The truth was out. Suddenly, a strange sound echoed from outside the castle walls. She rushed to the window and gasped. Why? Why are they already at the gates? A massive mob was swarming the castle grounds. The kingdom was on the verge of total collapse. Seiya is finished. Even if we flee, there is no food left to keep us alive. Bandits killed my sister, a man cried. I won't stay here and wait for death anymore. Becoming a thief is our only choice. Go home, little girl, this is no place for children. I'm not a child, she snapped. I heard there were still heroes inside fighting for us. A hero? The man scoffed. That's just a lie, spread to keep us obedient and quiet. She pleaded for patience, but the people's faith had already turned to bitter ash. What changes if the villain dies? The royal family has already abandoned their own people. They only care about their golden thrones while we starve in the dirt. I've had enough, a voice screamed. The crowd erupted, ready to burn everything to the ground. Burn them all, they roared. The princess watched in horror. Had they always felt this much hate? She thought only Josephine was the enemy. But the people's rage was aimed at them all. We have to leave before the blood starts flowing. But the princess refused to run away. I need to hear their demands. Emma, I need your strength to stop this madness. As you command, princess. They reached the western gate, where chaos was already breaking loose. Follow the protocol, the guards shouted. We cannot solve your problems without the proper paperwork. To hell with your protocols, the mob yelled. Half of us will be dead before then. The princess sighed in relief. They were still only arguing. But the peace was incredibly fragile. Bring out the king. Share the food hidden in the vaults, a man demanded loudly. What is all this noise? A cold, arrogant voice cut through the shouting like a blade. It was 𝑩𝒄𝒂𝒎𝒆, the vice commander of the Azure Dragons. The atmosphere turned deadly in an instant. So, this is the prodigy everyone's praising? Night Kai's star pupil is finally here. A genius who studied at the Empire's elite academy. the youngest commander in history. They say his arrogance knows no bounds. Suddenly, a scream of agony shatters the silence. You dare complain to the king about Seiya's downfall? Bringing a mob to threaten me? With a flash of steel, the protester was cut down. Maxion stood there, eyes cold. Stop your whining. Countless pests like you have already crawled through here before. Forget the old kings who coddled you peasants. Those days of listening are long dead. Seiya is rotting because of trash like you. It's time you learned your place. The royal law is absolute. Don't mistake past kindness for weakness, you arrogant rats. This is your final warning. Leave or die. Every traitor left standing will be executed. Wait! Commander Maxion, this is madness. A fellow knight stepped forward to shield them. We are royal knights. We don't slaughter civilians. But Maxion's blade was already moving. One swing, and the knight was cleaved in two. His eyes glowed with a demonic red. Siding with these rats makes you an enemy. I've given you enough time to pray. Blood splattered across the terrified crowd. The reality of the massacre finally set in. So, you're all traitors then? Maxion smirked. Kill them all. Leave no one alive. The princess watched in horror as chaos erupted. She tried to scream, but was swept away. Separated from Emma, she was lost in the terror. Suddenly, a shadow loomed over her. A butchered body fell onto her, blood spraying everywhere. The scent of death was overwhelming. The brutal reality of this world shattered her heart. Tears flowed as she realized her weakness. The knights were becoming monsters. I must stop them. But how? What can I do? A hand touched her shoulder. She gasped in fear. It was Levi. What are you doing? Levi? Since when? I've been following you. Things have taken a dark turn. Let's go. No. We have to save them. Levi looked at her with eyes like frozen steel. Save them? How? She gripped his sleeve. I don't care. We have to do something. He sighed at her reckless compassion. If you want me to kill the knights, it's easy. No, they are my people too. Levi smirked. Soft-hearted and planless as always, I see. You refuse the easy way but have no plan. Fine. Follow me. I have an idea. Emma was still searching frantically. Princess, where are you? Then, a voice boomed out. Everybody stop. Every eye turned upward. Levi stood on the roof, holding the princess. Lower your weapons. Now. Levi's blade was pressed firmly against the princess's delicate throat. Move another inch, and the princess's head rolls in the dirt. Do you understand? The princess played the hostage, though she was terrified. The knights roared in pure fury. Release her, or you'll die 1,000 deaths. Levi just laughed and swung his blade. Blood sprayed. The princess gasped, eyes wide with shock. The world seemed to stop. He actually hurt her. The man is a lunatic. Emma's heart stopped. What is he doing? Don't move. Everyone stay back. Maxion barked. The knights were forced into a standstill. The civilians saw their chance and fled. Levi looked down. The problem is solved, right? To the Blue Dragon Knights. Listen well. Maxion trembled with a seething, silent rage. Using the king's sword to butcher the innocent? That's a disgrace to the royal name. Just you wait. Once we return, Levi ignored him and vanished with the princess. You're too rough. Who would believe I'm a hostage? Levi chuckled. I had to sell it. I even had to cut myself to make it look real. The princess bit her lip. Back at the square, Maxion was seething. Because of who did I have to stop? He spotted Emma, standing alone and vulnerable. A wicked smile spread. This is perfect. Desperate to escape blame, he pointed a finger. How dare you be so negligent? He barked that she was unworthy of her rank. Arrest Emma immediately. He framed the loyal maid for their failure, claiming her incompetence had stained their noble name. Emma tried to speak, but he cut her off. No excuses. He roared, silencing her before the truth could emerge. Your title as royal attendant is hereby stripped. Emma trembled, knowing he lacked the legal authority to issue such a cruel decree. Are you defying a direct order from a superior? He sneered, adding the crime of insurrection to ensure her total downfall. Emma was struck unconscious and dragged away. Meanwhile, the princess wandered through the smoking ruins, frantically calling for her only friend. How could Emma have survived that nightmare? Suddenly, a group of hostile survivors spotted her. Look, it's the royal brat. The mob surrounded the terrified girl. Is this the one they call a princess? Their eyes burned with the fire of vengeance. "Who are you? Don't you dare touch me!" she shrieked, paralyzed by the raw hatred etched into the faces of her subjects. Their families had perished in the chaos. Our brothers died for the Seiya royalty. The weight of their grief had turned to madness. "The crown abandoned us. You aren't worth serving. Pay for our suffering with your own life." The air grew thick with bloodlust. The princess begged them to stop. A man raised a rusted blade, ready to strike, fueled by the agony of a broken heart. Suddenly, a shadow blurred into view. A devastating punch sent the attacker flying. It was our hero, the F-rank Demon King. "Can't you stay out of trouble for 5 minutes?" he grumbled, looking at the trembling girl. "Finding you in this mess was a pain." Another thug lunged from the shadows. He swung a heavy club at the protagonist's back, aiming to shatter his spine in one blow. The club snapped in two against his skin. "I didn't expect to thank you for saving you," he muttered, as his demonic aura began to flare. "But you just crossed the line, old man." He reached for his blade, a cold killing intent filling the narrow alleyway. The princess rushed forward to block his path. He paused, surprised by his own sudden rage. Why had he drawn his sword so instinctively? "Please, don't hurt them," she sobbed. He sighed, seeing her tear-streaked face, and sheathed his weapon with a metallic click. He draped his cloak over her shivering shoulders. His blood was boiling with a dark power, but her fragility kept his inner demon contained. They retreated to a temporary hideout. "Are you going to hide in there forever?" he asked, his voice rough but strangely protective. "I'm a mercenary, and my time isn't free. Keep me waiting, and the fees will triple." He leaned against the door, waiting. The princess whispered from behind the curtain, "I'm sorry, I just need to be alone." Her spirit was on the verge of collapsing. "Fine. I'll be nearby if you need anything." He left her to her sorrow, his footsteps echoing through the silent house. The princess curled into a ball, weeping. "Where did I go wrong? I only wanted to restore our kingdom's light." She thought the people still loved the crown, but she only saw deep-rooted resentment. Terror gripped her heart like an icy hand. Was she too weak to lead this nation? She remembered the faces of her fallen parents. Now, even Emma was gone from her side. She felt utterly abandoned in this cruel world. Outside, the protagonist exhaled a heavy breath. He knew the weight of being truly alone. Fragile souls like hers usually didn't survive. And where was that maid of hers? She wouldn't just vanish in a simple crowd. Why was he even bothering with this? This wasn't part of his original plan. He had his own dark destiny to fulfill. His goal was the system mission. He had to survive this tutorial world and evolve beyond his F-rank limitations. Objective: find the 32 Gala artifacts. Only 9 to 145 hours remained. The countdown to his true awakening was ticking. He didn't need a princess to find the library. Yet, he couldn't just walk away. Should he consider switching to Josie's side? He remembered his past life's terminal illness, the agonizing isolation he endured daily before being reborn into this chaotic world. No one had stood by him until the end. He looked at the door, seeing himself in that broken, weeping girl. Suddenly, a heavy presence approached. "So, this is where you've been hiding." A man stepped out from the darkness. It was Maxwell, the elite royal knight. He had led a purge against the rebels. His eyes narrowed as he spotted the pair. The princess and a lowly mercenary? Our hero's hand drifted to his hilt. "Your timing is perfect," he growled low. Both men drew their steel simultaneously. "You're quite bold for a commoner," Maxwell sneered, dripping with aristocratic pride. "Associating with rebels is a capital crime." The protagonist's eyes flashed with hidden power. "The only criminals here are the ones in armor." In the distance, the citizens were being slaughtered. Maxwell smirked, enjoying the chaotic music. "I've sent my men to cleanse these streets. There's a bounty for every rebel head. Search every corner, leave no survivors." His orders were cold, calculated, and bloodthirsty. Maxwell continued to boast of his authority. "The capital's security has been far too lax. It's time for a proper, violent reset. Mercenaries and peasants are always causing trouble. If some blood is spilled, it's just business." He shrugged with a chilling indifference. "It's certainly not my concern," he laughed. The protagonist's rage finally reached its peak. The Demon King was about to show his teeth. "Damn it!" The enemy unleashed a massive strike, shattering the ground as the protagonist barely dodged the blow. Debris flew everywhere. He'd underestimated this foe, but the knight's strength was undeniably overwhelming and fierce. "Don't worry," the traitor sneered. "I'll lead the reconstruction of Seiya." The main character just sighed heavily. "Thanks for saving me time," he replied coldly. "You aren't even worth the effort of my concern." Their blades clashed. He analyzed the knight's bizarre style using a shield to amplify his sword's aura. This was an ancient technique from the legendary Four Swordsmen era, used by prestigious noble bloodlines. They collided in a thunderous explosion of steel. The physical weight behind that shield was absolutely crushing. The shield deflected his blade, but our hero pivoted instantly, aiming a lethal strike from the side. Clang! The shield moved like a living wall, forcing the main character to retreat once again. "Surprised?" the knight mocked. "Behold the ultimate defense of the behemoth style. Remember its glory forever." He taunted the mercenary, claiming it was an honor just to witness such a divine, secret technique. Suddenly, the knight froze in pure terror as he spotted a mysterious mark on the protagonist's shoulder. "That mark, on your shoulder," he screamed. "How could a pathetic rat like you possess that seal?" "Finally noticed?" the hero smirked. "Yes, this is the legendary lightning seal of the Cross family." The battle resumed with renewed fury. The main character stayed calm, calculating his next lethal move. The enemy lunged with a basic strike, hoping his defense would reveal a hidden, exploitable weakness. But when the hero struck the shield head-on, the knight burst into a fit of maniacal laughter. "Haha, I see it now. You can't use the lightning sword because your seal is incomplete." He boasted about his time in the Empire, claiming even the Duke's niece couldn't defeat him. "Without that power, you're nothing," he yelled. But his arrogance was about to cost him everything. In a flash, the protagonist slammed him down and landed a bone-shattering punch directly to his face. His face twisted in agony. "What is this? Insane physical strength?" The knight gasped in horror. A brutal kick sent him flying. Blood sprayed as his body smashed through a solid stone wall. Broken and bleeding, he couldn't comprehend how a man without a seal could be this powerful. "You talk too much about seals," the hero stated, pointing his blade at the traitor's throat. "You're weak because you rely on status instead of fundamentals. You're nothing but a hollow shell. Normally, I'd end you now," he continued. "But I'm just a hired mercenary for today's mission." He turned to the trembling princess. "Well, Highness, how do you want to resolve this mess?" She hesitated, terrified of the political consequences of harming a citizen of her own kingdom. "You talk way too much," the hero sighed, tired of her endless moral inner conflict. "I'll help you." "Hey, knight, any last words before I send you to the afterlife?" The knight laughed hysterically, begging the princess to save him from this savage animal. "You're the Princess of Seiya," he cried. "Are you really going to let this commoner kill me?" His mad laughter echoed, but it was cut short as his head rolled across the blood-stained floor. The princess collapsed in shock, staring at the lifeless head as it hit the cold ground. "Scared? Or guilty?" the hero asked coldly, stepping over the cooling corpse of her kinsman. "This was my choice. But in this situation, there was never any other way out." Tears welled in her eyes. I thought good intentions were enough to save everyone." She finally realized how naive she had been. The main character watched her in cold silence. Then, without a word, he hoisted her onto his shoulder like a sack of grain. "Put me down," she protested. But he ignored her, focused only on the immediate threat. "Sulking won't save lives," he growled. "The enemy is already hunting down the fleeing refugees." The princess's eyes sharpened in fear. "Then we have to go. We have to save them." "This choice is simple," he stated bluntly. "Will you save them or abandon them to fate?" "Do you even have to ask?" she cried. "Of course we're saving them." He watched her carefully. "I asked if she knew they planned to kill her. Even if true, she refused to abandon them. She won't cast them aside just because they betrayed her. Her saintly resolve is truly a double-edged sword. She lacks self-awareness. This girl desperately needs a guide through the darkness." I proposed a simple pact. First, we erase the worries weighing on your soul. Second, no more playing the martyr for those people. Stop carrying the world's burdens like a fool. She looked at me and whispered a soft thank you. Meanwhile, at Seiya Castle, human vultures were circling the weak. The air stank of low-level thugs and fear. A soldier sneered, demanding a price for the man's life. "Pay up or lose your head," he laughed. The terrified citizen had nothing. A cold blade was pressed against his throat as he begged for mercy. "Enough," I called out. The princess and I arrived just as the situation reached a breaking point. "How dare you touch my subjects?" she roared. "You will all pay for this, but not by my hand." She pointed at me with absolute confidence. I wondered how she recovered her fighting spirit so quickly. The thugs mocked us. "Look who it is. Levi, the kingdom's so-called golden boy, has finally arrived." They claimed they got here first. I reached for a heavy pouch, my expression unreadable and cold. "Consider this your fine. Open it, and I guarantee your pathetic attitude will change instantly." The leader smirked, assuming it was a bribe. "A little advance payment? Words are cheap, but gold talks." He weighed the bag in his hand. I warned him again once he saw the contents. Everything changed. "If you're done, vanish. There is no one left alive to pay your salary anyway." He opened the bag to find the severed head of his commander. Terror instantly paralyzed the entire squad. Negotiating with a noose around their necks? The princess questioned my brutal efficiency as we stood there. "I am not a madman. I prefer words, but my blade is always ready to end the conversation. If they cross the line, I will become a demon to survive. That is my path to victory." The princess watched me, intrigued. But the night across from us was fueled by pure, blinding rage. "You think you can negotiate after this?" he spat. "You want a fair deal with our leader?" He threw the head aside. They weren't going to retreat just because their boss was a corpse. "Gold or blood? Bring the treasure or this man dies." He held a blade to a villager's neck. "Round them all up. Every head is worth 10 gold coins. This is just business now." He laughed, regretting he hadn't killed them all sooner. I said, "Bring me the gold, now." The princess's eyes blazed with fury. These snakes were truly begging for a one-way trip to hell. "Levi, I leave them to you. The safety of the people is our absolute and only priority. I lack the strength to crush them, but I trust you. Just don't get hurt, my comrade." "Worry about yourself, princess," I replied with a smirk. I stepped forward, my killing intent overflowing. In a silver blur, I moved. My blade hummed as I cut through them like a ghost. Before he could blink, I sent their leader flying with a devastating kick that shattered his ribs. "I spared your vitals this time. But from now on, anyone threatening the innocent meets a swift death. Even if you all attack, you will only find the abyss. Being a thug means choosing to die." The leader trembled in the dirt. He realized his life was worth less than the gold he craved. He couldn't even perceive my movements. If I had been serious, he would already be fertilizer. I loomed over them like a god of death. "Do you retreat now, or do you perish here?" He tried to bark one last time, asking if I thought he was scared of a brat. Then his knees buckled. "I'm sorry, boss. We're leaving. Please, just spare our miserable lives this once." The princess was speechless as the cowards fled in terror. For now, the storm had finally passed. She stood in silence, realizing that overwhelming power is the only true foundation for any noble action. Is this the weight of real strength? She wondered what a true ruler must become to protect others. She approached a wounded citizen, offering her royal handkerchief to bind his bleeding wounds with care. But the man recoiled in pure hatred. "Keep your cursed royal hands off me. Get lost." "It is your fault," they barked. But a heavy fist suddenly silenced the coward's tongue. "Shut up. How dare you speak to our savior like that?" The crowd shifted in fear. They stood tall, bowing to the princess. Without her, those mercenaries would have slaughtered us all. The royal family failed us, but she is different. Her bloodline is not her sin. If not for her knights, we would be corpses. They pointed toward our mysterious main character. The protagonist sighed. He didn't need to reveal his true identity as an F-rank mercenary yet. The villager bowed low. "Forgive my narrow-mindedness, princess." She shook her head with grace. "I cannot blame your fury. My family has brought nothing but pain to this land. Trust me, I will never abandon you." Her words sparked a fire of hope in them. "Your words are kind, but the city is ash. We are just homeless wanderers now. There is nowhere left to hide tonight. We cannot wait for the world to fix itself." The princess looked at her ally. Even with his power, he could not shield everyone alone. "Follow me. I know a sanctuary." They hesitated, wondering if a royal could be trusted. Suddenly, the main character stepped forward, his gaze cold. "Follow her or die where you stand. If you stay, you will never see the dawn of the new world she leads." "Princess, we still doubt, but we want to believe. We will follow you into the dark." The princess thanked them, But our hero had a different mission. I have a question. Did you see a knight with a scar over her eye? She is always searching. They remembered. She was surrounded by guards. Being a royal knight, she might still live. We must find her first, the protagonist thought. The princess's heart sank with sudden worry. Don't forget her strength, he reminded her. Emma is a veteran. She will not fall easily. Deep within the dungeon, the prince sat in shadows. A misunderstanding? Before the grand ceremony? Emma sighed behind bars. It is not your fault, your highness. The prince's face twisted. My mistake was trusting General Kalisa. Emma scanned the cell, noticing the rusted, weak bars. These bars are loose. The guards are arrogant, relying too much on their ether suppression tools. What are you doing? The prince asked. Emma did not blink. This cage cannot hold me. I am escaping to find Seiya. The prince's eyes flared with a sudden, terrifying madness. Return to that fool? To Seiya? You have lost your mind. She is a weak puppet. He grabbed her. I am the only hope. Only I can save and rule this land. His true face was finally revealed. Years of suppressed greed exploded into the cold light. He laughed like a maniac, recalling their plan to overthrow the corruption together in secret. Princess Seiya is searching for elite mercenaries. The prince's sneer was filled with pure venom. Mercenaries? You trust those slum rats with our divine destiny? Tell her to stop this. The people are negotiated. The knights are ready. We will end this crisis my way. He had accepted it then, but his resentment had rotted into something monstrous and dark. Using low-born filth from the gutters. What can a trash-tier newbie even accomplish in battle? Emma tried to calm his rage. Please, think clearly. My lord, this is not you. This is me, he roared. I have hidden my true desires for far too long. I am the rightful savior. I will be the one they worship as the king. He choked Emma, his strength fueled by insanity. Her heart froze. He was truly gone. He has lost his mind. Before the capture, he was not this shadow of a man. Emma struck swiftly. A blow to his neck knocked the prince unconscious. I am sorry. I will beg for your forgiveness later. She turned to the exit, but voices echoed. Planning a jailbreak, Emma? And why is the prince sleeping on the cold floor? She drew her breath. I have to leave. The guards raised blades. Last warning. Die. Submit now, or I'll be forced to cut you down. Emma's eyes narrowed with fierce resolve. I have no grudge against you, this is just duty. Come. The steel clashed instantly. Emma fought like a demon, parrying every strike despite the blood soaking her uniform. Let go. One more twist and your fingers are history. The guard roared in frustration. Then try it, Emma hissed, sensing another blade aimed directly at her blind spot. With years of refined instinct, she pivoted and delivered a devastating, bone-shattering kick. The guards fell, but Emma was spent. Her breath came in ragged, desperate gasps. My collarbone. It's fractured, she realized. I can't swing a blade with this arm anymore. The enemy regrouped for a final execution. Is this where my journey ends? She wondered. No. I'll use this broken arm as a human shield to break their line. With a scream of agony, she threw herself forward, overwhelming them with raw desperation. Collapsing against the wall, she watched her lifeblood pool on the cold stone floor. If only I possessed the strength of that mercenary. I can't fail the princess now. As her consciousness faded, a familiar, cold voice echoed through the dark hallway. Failing the escort was pathetic, but a jailbreak too? You've fallen low, Emma. Lord Caesar looked down at her. If you were rational, it wouldn't have ended thus. This isn't emotion, Emma wheezed. It's my vow to the princess and this kingdom. Caesar exhaled a long sigh. I see. I, too, act only for Seiya's ultimate glory. Elsewhere, the king was drowning in a sea of madness and suffocating regret. A cursed mist had swallowed the palace for months, blinding him to the truth. With a rebel son and a missing daughter, the crown felt like a leaden weight. Josephine appeared like a beautiful nightmare. Do not blame yourself, my king, she whispered. You love this land more than anyone. You have done nothing wrong, your majesty. The broken king clung to her like a lifeline. Is that true? Do you believe? Of course, she smiled venomously. They only seek to undermine your divine, holy authority. Even if the world turns against you, I will remain your only loyal shield. The king embraced her, weeping. Oh, Josephine, you are the only one I trust. Watch over this realm, so no evil can ever tarnish our beautiful Seiya again. Josephine's inner smile was frozen. I'll be the one to burn this kingdom down. Tending to this old fool is exhausting. How much longer will you watch, dragon? Far across the horizon, the one she spoke of watched the palace spires. A kingdom with such a master is nothing but a fleeting, fragile toy, he muttered. Did you think such a petty distraction would lure me out of the shadows? Meanwhile, Seiya basked in the lively atmosphere. See? Here, anyone can finally find peace. As long as the royal library stands, no threat can ever reach our hearts. A commoner in the crowd gasped in awe. To enter such a sacred place, are all these legendary books truly for people like us? The citizens whispered excitedly. The main character smirked playfully. Commoners, and even a wanted man like me. Seiya, if I decided to disappear right now, what could you possibly do to stop me? Seeing her face turn pale, he chuckled. Relax, princess. It was just a joke. Seiya's eyes welled with tears. You've already done so much for me, haven't you? Consider this library access as an advance payment for your continued loyalty and service. I know you're a man who honors his contracts, she added, her voice trembling. The guilds say you're buried in debt and have a massive price on your head. Under my protection, I'll clear your name. Just stay, and fight for our future. Seiya watched in despair as the main character vanished into thin air. Suddenly, the main character used god-tier movement to confront the final boss. As promised, I've arrived, he said. Let's finish our talk, scholar. The dragon looked at the F-rank demon king with deep suspicion. He revealed ancient scrolls containing the Empire's buried, forbidden history. History is twisted by the messenger. A multi-perspective view is required. Just read it. The dragon sighed. The main character felt overwhelmed. The dragon watched the filthy humans invading his sacred ancient library. If you're a dragon, do it yourself. The main character mocked. You stay inside too much. Your social skills are honestly pathetic. Murderous intent flared instantly. The main character just laughed it off. Outside, people whispered about the main character's strange, royal permission. Is he a fool? A man suddenly slapped the dragon's shoulder. Move aside, buddy. Grab some wood and help us move this. The dragon's rage boiled. These fools are destroying my priceless collection. Do you even realize how ancient these sacred books are? Insects? Humans were using holy relics as chairs and curtains shamelessly. The dragon's heart bled. Stop. Don't let the sun touch the ink. I spent eons collecting these, yet you treat them like trash? Invading my lair and making a mess. Humans are truly disgusting. Suddenly, a sweet, melodic voice cut through his burning, dark hatred. A girl resembling Sir appeared. The dragon's anger instantly softened. He remembered her. She was the one who trespassed first. You're still alive, right? She asked with wide, innocent eyes. I'm alive, he sighed. She gasped. Wait, you can actually talk. If lowly orcs can talk, why couldn't a mighty dragon speak? I didn't know because we just met, she pouted with anger. The dragon gave her a look of pure, cold, immortal disdain. Humans have noticed me. It is finally time for me to vanish. She smiled warmly. I'll keep your secret if you stay here. His ancient heart wavered. Soon, they became strangely, deeply close. She struggled with her sword. Why is this so difficult? I want to be strong enough to protect the weak souls. The dragon closed his eyes. What a boring, cliché human dream. Are you sleeping again? She asked. He laughed softly inside. She finally became a knight trainee, despite her very late start. I have talent, she claimed. He'd seen that spark many times. Today is the last day. I came to say my goodbyes. The dragon's indifference shattered. You aren't old enough for goodbyes. War has broken out. I must fight for the future generation. Another predictable human path. The dragon let her walk away. Survive, he whispered. There is no shame in choosing life. She was stunned. I didn't know you could actually feel worry. Just go. It was the same cycle of war and sacrifice. You're still alive, a voice echoed from deep within the cave. I swore an oath to protect my home, but now I struggle just to survive alone. Seeing her despair, the dragon offered cold comfort. This is the brutal essence of war. Every justification eventually boils down to one thing: taking what you want through pure violence. How many souls have I seen swing their swords for the exact same empty cause? It makes me wonder, why do you fight with such desperate burning passion? Closing the ancient tome, the dragon sighed. Time flows, and all things eventually wither away. Kingdoms fall, wills break, and useless memories flicker like dying embers in the dark. Can't sleep either? Sir asked, eyeing the legendary biography held in the dragon's claws. Is that the tale of the founder? Surprised, the dragon asked if she knew the book. It was my favorite. As a child, I loved it so much I read it 10 times a day. I dreamt of being like my ancestors, searching every hidden cave just to find a dragon. I scoured the Seiya mountains, chasing every whisper and every ancient legend I heard. I haunted those dark caverns hoping for a miracle, but I have finally given up. Dreams are fleeting. If I had studied instead, I wouldn't be this powerless and full of regret. The dragon frowned. Princess, you have already achieved more than most could ever dream of. Why crave such overwhelming power when you already hold the people's deepest respect? I must ensure tragedy never repeats. I will forge a better future, even if it's a fantasy. Even if it's an impossible dream, I'll fight to end my people's suffering and pain. No matter how unreachable the goal, I will start by doing whatever I can today. That bloodline is truly terrifying. I fear you are becoming exactly like her, the dragon muttered. Like who? Sir pressed, immediately desperate to know the woman the dragon spoke of. Just talking to myself. But heed this advice. Protect those who stand by your side. Personal strength isn't everything. Recruiting legendary allies is the true mark of a leader. If you were truly a dragon, you would have found us sooner. Then he vanished. While Sir stood confused elsewhere, our main character was deep in historical research. Done yet? Don't rush me, he replied coldly. I never liked studying in the first place. What even is this? It feels like silence. Just read the game guide first. A game guide? Minyoke froze. That book holds a powerful knowledge-sharing spell. We trade memories, the dragon explained. A night bound by time. How fascinating. I'll learn your secrets and help your quest. But in exchange I have one demand. A memory thief's price. The main character hesitated. This definitely won't be cheap. The dragon smirked, dropping all pretenses. My price is simple. Give me a dragon heart. A fair trade, isn't it? Absolutely not, the protagonist refused without a second thought. Strange. Do you not realize the ultimate value of a dragon heart? The dragon asked. I know its value, that's why I refuse. High rewards always mean insane difficulty. With my limited lifespan and time traveling, I can't afford to take reckless risks. You're cautious, the dragon remarked. It's true, great difficulty yields the most legendary spoils. Exactly. It's refreshing to speak openly about quests and rewards in this strange world. Side quests with rich rewards are often the secret key to clearing the main mission. Most likely. It's all about maintaining the perfect game balance, he replied lazily. The dragon pondered. So you'll solve this insignificant human kingdom's petty troubles? It's no longer just a human issue, Louis. Your interference has changed everything. This world is evolving. The protagonist realized he was partially responsible for this shift. I'm an outsider, yes. But are there others like me lurking on the other side? The dragon didn't hesitate. Not exactly like you, but they are definitely coming. Queen Josephine is no mere human. She is a notorious demon who supposedly vanished from this world long ago. While the queen plots her next move, a visitor arrives with dark news. Is there a problem? She asks. I am here to oversee Seiya. A full year has passed since that incident. Why are you so slow? Ruling a simple human kingdom shouldn't take this much time. Josephine scoffs. Do not be so impatient. You warned me to stay hidden, yet you failed in the dark forest. How dare you show your face? Jin scowls at the reminder of his defeat. I want to know about that knight who appeared back then. Josephine enjoys mocking him. That knight? I have been watchful, but I sense no holy power from anyone. If you find him, can I devour him? Jin growls. Just slaughter them all until you are absolutely certain. Until the task is finished. Do not dare contact me again. As he leaves, Josephine's eyes turn cold. 𝒆𝒃. Always acting superior, she mutters. Restoring the race? What a tedious and annoying dream this is. I must prepare for the great demon god's resurrection. I am watching something far more vital than this kingdom. Meanwhile, our hero and the dragon discuss a terrifying secret hidden deep within the ancient library's forbidden scrolls. A secret unknown even to my kind. The Demon King? Well, if a dragon lives here, anything is possible. But why should I challenge such a monster? Wouldn't it be better if you handled it yourself, lizard? The dragon sighs. I have no desire to meddle in the affairs of these fragile, lowly mortals. You have seen the records of this world. You should understand the weight of my ancient existence. The protagonist turns to leave. That is your problem. If I refuse to help, what will you do? If that is your choice, I cannot help you. I plan to spend my final days here in peace. However, if my life ends, your life will likely end as well. This chilling warning stops the hero cold. What nonsense are you spewing? The hero snaps. The dragon gestures to a dusty old history book. Have you read the history of Satya's first king? Manhwa answers calmly. I have finished half of it. Turning the pages, the dragon explains. Then you know the divine pact between the gods and the living races. Mortals share a symbiotic bond with the gods through the golden threads of faith and absolute devotion. As one side prospers, the other grows stronger. It is a parallel existence that sustains this entire world. I am the last dragon. If I perish, every race connected to the goddess 𝑩𝒆𝒄𝒂𝒎𝒆 will vanish. You are the last dragon, but I am human. How does your death affect me in any way? It is complicated. My theory suggests that you are an outsider from a completely different world. You wear a human shell, but you were not born from this land's goddess. You are closer to dragons. Yet, you are no dragon. If the goddess falls, nobody knows what fate awaits a strange being like you. The hero falls into deep thought. To survive, he must find the temple and slay the demon king. So, to protect my own life, I have to defeat this legendary threat? Is that what you are saying? A shiver runs down his spine as the dragon confirms the grim reality. Everything is just too suspicious. Coming here after that main quest, it feels like someone has already set the stage for me. Why did the goddess bring me to this fantasy world? What exactly do they want me to do? The dragon sighs deeply. I do not know the details, but your desires seem to align with hers. The hero is confused by these cryptic words. What are you talking about? That sounds like total nonsense. She does not want anything from you. She brought you here to simply meet people as a human, to forge real bonds. Elsewhere, the princess remembers the dragon's departure and feels a sudden pang of grief. Are you really leaving, Luis? Even if she cannot solve everything alone, choosing the right allies is leadership. We must trust each other, Seiya says seriously, pushing her emotions aside for the sake of the kingdom. I feel terrible asking for more help after all you have suffered, but please, I am counting on you. Manhwa sees her clumsy determination and smiles gently. I have been waiting. Let us go find Emma. Becoming her pillar of support, he scratches his head. I already have library access, but I won't run. I am not that shameless. But, do I get a bonus reward for all of this extra work? After all, facing a demon king is no small task. What exactly will be his final reward? With the dragon's blessing, the final princess, overwhelmed by raw emotion, threw herself into a desperate, tearful embrace. Manhwa, I'll never forget your help. Transitioning now to the imposing gates of the royal palace of Seiya. Our F-rank protagonist wonders, survival? This tutorial difficulty is absolutely insane compared to the rumors of her capture. Elite knights must be lurking within. Time to release a sliver of aura and see how these fools react. He eyes the castle. Striking down a lone guard will be the perfect way to slip inside unnoticed. Moving forward, he freezes. Fresh bloodstains paint the path. What kind of nightmare occurred in this desolate place? His aura pulses. The iron scent is thick and the blood is still wet. Someone is deathly wounded nearby. Following the crimson trail through the gate, he discovers a sight that stops his heart in pure shock. Emma lies broken on the cold ground. Did she escape the dungeon alone? Her condition is nothing short of critical. Wake up! Manhwa cries out. Her breath is a scorching fever, yet her skin feels like frozen ice. She's fading fast. If she dies before reaching the library, all his efforts will turn to ash. Marilla's holy power can heal, but it demands his own lifespan as payment. Is he ready for that sacrifice? Can this meager spark save her? The weight of choice is heavy, but time is a luxury he doesn't have. No more hesitation. To survive this hell, he must bet everything on this forbidden divine energy right now. He unleashes the light. A pillar of holy radiance pierces the heavens, catching the sharp eyes of Josephine. That intensity. Josephine gasps in disbelief. It is true. A being wielding the power of gods has finally appeared. I've found you at last, the Knight of Divinity. A fated confrontation between two legends is now inevitable. The air turns heavy. The ultimate battle for dominance is about to explode.